up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid
I'm
hot.
fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, good morning, everybody. What's going on? JB Smooth here. Wake up, Woodward. I'm just distracting you guys right now while everyone gets all set in place on everything. What's going on? Shout out to Kool-Aid KG. They're on the desk right now. Kool-Aid's over there getting fired up. He's got the bat. He's getting me very, very nervous right now. I don't know what's happening as it is right now. He's holding the bat like it's his precious. So I don't know what is about to happen. I know he is very fired up right now to get to the Piston conversation that we got going on. And hey, everybody's game 6 tonight. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, KG and Kool-Aid.
Yo!
Hey.
So freaking fired up
What an intro.
for today, man.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to JB Smooth in the TD booth, Woodward Sports MVP. Hey, just put the camera back on yourself real quick and just show off that jersey, man.
You damn
That
right.
is so fire.
Deuce.
That
I
is
don't
so
care.
fire.
I
Is
don't
there
care.
something? Is there an occasion or something going on today?
I don't know. Nothing seems special today.
You know
I
what?
don't know.
We'll talk about it, man. It's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. KG, what up, though? Detroit's #1 draft pick in the building. He's on the desk for our brother, our guy, my co-host, Flannel Sam Reynolds. We miss you. We love you, brother. Enjoy
sir.
your vacation, and we're hoping that the Detroit Pistons give you a whole lot more to cheer about. But we do got the Rookie of the Year, Woodward Sports MVP, KG. What up, though, brother?
Hey, man, feeling good, bro. It's a big day in the city. It's gloomy outside, and hopefully it's going to be gloomy for New York later on tonight, man. I'm looking forward to it. I see what you did. Do the right thing. I see what you did.
Hey.
Do the right thing.
Hey, and you know what? People, as always, you guys are the most important part of this thing of the entire Woo Crew production.
Yerp.
Wake up, Woodward. We need you all to run up these likes on the Detroit Pistons of New York Knicks Game 6 game day, man.
Wow, man.
It's just amazing, man, that we're in this position right now and we actually get 3 home playoff games for finally. It's been years.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. And this winds up becoming really the most pivotal game, and I'm going to say like maybe 19 years for these Detroit Pistons unless they win tonight, and then the next one becomes that. But they got to handle business. We're going to talk about that. But shout out to also Matt Broder, that dude Justin. I'm going to bring in our booth. I'm going to introduce Cavassier Chase.
Pastor
Chase
Cavassier.
in
going
the
on,
sound
fellas?
booth.
How you guys doing this morning?
Hey, we got braided up Chase in the building. And you know what? I appreciate Chase for his desire to always really care for and include the chat family. And I know that one thing that you love, and we did it briefly as well. And you're like, yo, we should do this some more. It's that question in the day. And I'm going to start with you this morning, all right? And chat family, I need you guys. I need you all to participate, so keep your eye on the chat at some of the answers as well. But what is your favorite Detroit sports playoff moment? That's what I want to ask you about. And if you have like several that just come across your mind, man, definitely I'm going to start with you, Cavassier Chase, and then we'll go over to the voice of reason next.
Oh, I mean, my favorite moment would probably be, I have to say, like, back in 04 when we won the championship. It's like my most positive memory, even though it's like over 21 years ago, and I was as young as I was, only 6 years old at the time. But, I mean, you know, I still remember that time hanging out with my friends that I grew up playing basketball with and every other sport, you know, in elementary school and middle school and stuff. So, I don't think anything can beat a championship, and I don't really remember 07, 08 as much, and I was surrounded with like my parents, and like I said, I got to celebrate the Pistons with some friends. So I'd say that's probably my most favorite playoff memory of any Detroit sport.
Yeah, man, you know, in your your perspective is a lot like mine with the Bad Boys. Similar thing. Like my grandparents, they decked me out in everything Bad Boys, but I was about 6 years old for like that second championship. And I did get to see Zeke play a little bit, Joe Dumars play a little bit longer, and then Grant Hill. That was the era where I really bought in, and I thought we got something here. But what I'm seeing right now out of Cade Cunningham and these Detroit Pistons, I do believe offers a whole lot more hope than we saw back during that era, and a lot more adjacent to the 2004 era that you saw, man. I really do. But hey, Kavasi, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. I gotta go to you too, man. Hey, because I guess just to piggyback on that, if we omit championships, I think one of the ones that I really loved, and it can be for any of the sports teams, for the Pistons in particular, it was when they went down against the New Jersey Nets. Were they New Jersey Nets then? Yep. New Jersey Nets 3-2. And we knew that was one of those teams that we just couldn't solve during the regular season. They always played us tough. They grinded the game down to a halt. We couldn't do the things that we normally like to do against them, but we still found a way. And it just feels so relevant with what the Detroit Pistons are facing right now. So I appreciate Chase's answer on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I got two personally, if you allow me to go. The first one being 2012, the ALCS victory by the Tigers over the New York Yankees. What just a moment, man. And that was I don't want to say it's the last time I saw people just really come together, because we've seen, recent success and, the fan bases kind of merge and come back to life. But just the energy in that building, knowing that the Tigers were the best team in the MLB and they did everything they set out to do that year, and it culminated with another ALCS victory for us. And it's a shame that they got swept. It's just a shame they got swept in that World Series. But I'll never forget that moment, man. Just that all the hype leading up to that game, man, just the fan interaction was absolutely unreal. And for recent memories, how do you not point to the Lions getting their first playoff win in over 30 years? That one is going to be ingrained on my brain for forever, man. Like, just seeing the city come out, like all the big dogs came out to see that moment. And although we only won by 1 point, you did it against Matthew Stafford, who meant so much to this Lions organization prior to that. And it was just the symbolism of, okay, we're in a new era now. SOL is officially dead, and I stand on that. SOL died that night.
I'm seeing the chat family get busy. I'm about to start reading what they got going on there, too. You find some stuff as well, but Voice of Reason, Mr. JB Smooth, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. What about you, man? Some of them playoff moments. And I'm going to omit, because I'm glad that Chase did say the championship, but if you weren't going to say specifically winning the championship from any of your teams, what would that playoff moment be for you? Or two?
I got to give a little bit of a caveat to that, because my moment was the 04 championship, but it's the reason around it. Because after we won the title, that parade coming downtown,
talk about it.
And
You know what? This counts.
This was a moment because I begged my mom if we could go downtown just to see this parade. And to add to KG's moment as well, too, the atmosphere of seeing all these people come together who have watched this team through this entire playoff series. It was a moment. I remember being just a young kid, just going down there trying to see over all these sea of people at Hart Plaza, and then we tried to run all the way over to the Renaissance Center to try and see
back memories
again
right now.
too. And it was just it was a moment. You just had to be there, especially as a young kid loving sports, loving the Pistons back then with Chauncey, Rip, Ben. It was a moment, man. And like I said, I wouldn't change that for the world. I still remember those memories to this day.
Yo, man, you're bringing back many memories. I'm realizing just how close we probably all were at that parade.
Yeah.
That's 6 degrees of separation, because we probably all got a lot of those types of memories. That 04 parade, Hart Plaza, I remember that, man. My pops took off work and everything. It was epic. It was an epic time. Oh, goodness gracious, it was an epic time. But I want to get into the chat family and see a little bit of what they're talking about. And then we got a lot on the menu today as well. Got to talk about the Detroit Tigers. They did salvage one win against the Astros, but it's more or less what, after that one win, what one MLB national reporter says about the Detroit Tigers. possibly being the best team in all of baseball. They still are and have the best record in the AL and obviously in the AL Central too.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk about the Detroit Lions. We have our top 5 trending topics, which will be coming out every single week based on a combination of things. And it gets whittled down to the top 5, and it blew up on socials. And we got a couple of those things that we got to talk about today. The second-year elite. We're talking about TA and Rakestraw. And then we also got to talk about another pair of things, the coordinators. Should we be so confident that these coordinators are going to run it back just as good as what Master Ben and AG did before?
Yeah.
So we got to talk about it before. You guys already know the whole second hour and maybe then some is going to be Detroit Pistons versus the New York Knicks, man, and I cannot wait. But the people in the chat, they got a lot of things to say. Michael DeVries, $5 super chat on break at work, but got to get my 15 minutes of Woodward Sports. I cannot wait for tonight. We can't wait for tonight either, and thank you for supporting us and giving us your time while at work. Another $10 super chat from Matty Fresh. I need you guys to help me as well, and if you're in a place where you're not going to get in trouble, you guys are going to have to say this as well. Matty Fresh in all caps. Detroit basketball. Let's rock.
I know what the fuck it is.
But people started putting their moments in there, and one that I'm seeing a couple times in here, KOXVD, DJ Justice, the Tayshaun Prince block. Real K77. I remember that play like it was yesterday, man. I don't know if I'm just continuing to tell my age, but it was awesome to see that type of winning, and that's what gives me so much hope and excitement for what this current Pistons team is doing right now.
Yeah.
Let me see here. There was a couple more here. Chocolate Cheese, Rashid, half quarter. I saw somebody talk about the Chauncey Billups half quarter, which actually came in a loss.
Yeah.
DJ Justice, Maglio's home run to send the Tigers to the World Series is right up there. Sheesh. Any other ones that come to mind for you?
The Max home run, of course, that's imprinted in my head forever. It's a shame my dad was asleep around that time, but I was wide awake, man, watching that TV set, watching Max send us to the World Series, man. That was epic, bro. I'm trying to think, man, because we went through a pretty bad drought for a long time, man. Blake's playoff run, it was nice that Blake, was on one leg, but we knew that wasn't real. But we ain't really had a lot, between that time and now.
It's been, you know what, and that's what really spurred this question. I really wanted to understand where people's minds were at, especially as we're looking at what I believe to be something pretty special with these Detroit Pistons. But Burn with the $5 super chat. He says, Game 1 of the ALCS, 2012 Tigers were up 4-0. The Yankees tied it up on a blown save, extra innings. Jeter breaks his ankle. It was crazy.
It was epic, man.
Dog, that was epic.
That Tigers team, there's no way they shouldn't have won. They was so stacked, bro. They was loaded. I'm still mad to this day.
Look, man, people are saying that this Detroit Tigers team is loaded. Even so much so that they're saying
not like that one was.
Not like that one.
Not like that one.
Wise, though, they do believe when you're talking about Mize and Scooble at the top of the rotation, what the rest of the starters are doing in the bullpen, that they're legitimately have a case to be called the best rotation and the best pitching in all of baseball. We tip the cap to the Chris Fetter and those pitchers for putting in all of the work. Obviously, consistency is going to be key here. But they're also stating that this year, rather than last year, that the batting lineup is not to be, scared of as much. If you're a fan of the Tigers, that they're going to be much more serviceable. But they do believe that there's one thing that could keep them from achieving this one feat that they said, and it's, can the Tigers be the best team in all of baseball? They said that it's time to pay them some attention because you're in through a large chunk of the season. They've gone 13-9 against the teams that many would say are tough. They've gone 13-9 through that portion of the record. And you have to understand that also includes a sweep at the hands of the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Just getting things going at the start of the season. And then you also understand what they're getting back. But they do get a Javi slam last night, KG.
Boy, Javi.
We're going to talk about it because I'm going to bring up this article in just a little bit. But shout out to those Detroit Tigers for getting back in the win column. They do salvage a dub against the Houston Astros. They win 7-4, man. And Javi gets the grand slam. I cannot wait to see what Neil has to say about this thing.
You know you're going to hit.
But the bullpen comes through again. I thought Jackson Jobe, a decent outing, enough for us to win, especially considering where he's going to be falling in the starting rotation. Yep. And in the bullpen, it did what it did, and it picked up 6 combined strikeouts to finish and close out this game. But it's cool to see as you're looking at this box score, the Detroit Tigers batting average just continue to go up and up and up, and you're going to need that because when you look at what is, pushing the Detroit Tigers right now, it is absolutely the pitching.
Yeah.
When you look at the top three in the AL as it relates to runs allowed, it is the Houston Astros with 104, then your Detroit Tigers with 105, and then the Kansas City Royals with 108. And you see some other AL Central teams that are kind of in that hunt as well. And that's what makes me excited for what we're seeing with the bats. It's definitely starting to heat up. And anything that you can get out of Javi, who's now, as his average, up to 296. But 4 RBIs last night, obviously, with the grand salami. But what did you like about these Tigers that win? I know you're Mr. Javi Watch here at the network.
Hey, man. I am a new Javi fan, bro. I'm done with the Javi slander, at least for right now, man. Javi is playing some really good baseball. And when you just look at the weekend that he had this last weekend and what he did in this game, absolutely amazing, man. He took a pitch that was looking like it was going to be outside, man, but the pitcher missed a slider on the inside, and he took it yard, man. And shout out to him. Shout out to Colt Keith, too, getting back on the bandwagon, man, hitting a big 2-run homer to start the scoring for the Tigers in this game. And Jackson Joe, we already know the story on him. He gave you a decent outing. He's still learning, and that's something that you continue to see with him, but his stuff is undeniable, man. He has a mean fastball, a mean cutter. He'll be there. He just has to go through his lumps.
And the Astros are no slouch.
No,
they're no slouch.
Absolutely not. But you know he's gonna have to be able to find his spots going against some of these MLB teams. But ultimately, you like how he's coming out, how he's came out to start the season. So no, shout out to him. And this Tigers offense, man, they continue to impress.
Hey, they do. You know what? Let's say what up though to some friends real quick. I want to be able to tap in the booth and get to this article briefly, and then we got a TLB.
Talk Lions, biatch.
Hey, before and then after that, we're going to break down Detroit Pistons and New York Knicks. You guys are going to get a whole savvy hour of this thing, man.
Got to.
What friends you want to say what up, though, to one JB Smooth?
Buddy's Pizza.
Buddy's Pizza. You guys already know it's a Detroit classic, and it's the best Detroit pizza that you can get your hands on. Detroit-style pizza. I need you guys to go on ahead and download the Buddy's Pizza mobile app right now so that you can start to get your points on every single order that you place through the app and start working your way towards free Detroit-style pizza, man. Mwah. Also save 10% by using promo code 10mil. That's something you can take advantage of today while you work towards that free pizza. And once again, that is the number 10MEAL. Buddy'sPizza.com.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you. WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com.
Planet Fitness, y'all know what it is. Still the best deal in the gym game. And on a day like this where it's gloomy outside, you can't get outside, you want to absolutely be able to get in the gym. Go to Planet Fitness today. Get that Black Card membership. Still only, around $15-20 a month. And you can get right for the summer. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Essential. What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And yes, I am so fired up. Pistons versus Knicks, Game 6 tonight at LCA. Detroit, get fired up. I was giggling at that too. Keep that up on the screen. We will talk. I will read that soon.
Ant-Man retired LeBron.
Hey, listen, man. Detroit, get fired up for tonight, man. I cannot wait. I absolutely can't wait to feel that environment. It was interesting to see after they dropped that last game. You just wanted them to push this back to Detroit because you understood just how much of a home court advantage. I thought those fans did give the Pistons just a little bit more of a boost, and they talked about that as well. But I know we're going to break down a lot more about the strategy, the ins and outs, the difference JB Bickerstaff has made in this series, and the difference he needs to make tonight for his young team, mixed with a little splash of veterans to get on to a Game 7 in Madison Square Garden where they've won 4 times this season. Amazing. 2 times in the regular season, 2 times in the playoffs. So
Madison Square Cade.
That's what it seems like. And what they have to do is solve the jitters of playing in front of their own home fans. I think that there's so much pressure on them, man, that they're putting on themselves to try and that when you get into the closing moments, too much pressure sometimes bursts pipes. But this team, you see them learning on the fly. You see them getting tougher and stronger on the fly. You see them, even the defense improving on the fly. You see Asar Thompson stay in the game as much as he did. It's a lot to like for their chances tonight at home to be able to get that first playoff home win in a long time. It'll be another feather in the cap of that kind of in their narrative story this year, man.
No, absolutely. And you got to give credit to JB Bickerstaff for some of the adjustments that have been made. But ultimately, players got to play, man. And you coming back home, this is the 3rd opportunity that you will have to win a playoff game in LCA. And it is well overdue. I mean, the fans, they are going to be rabid. I'm not worried about that. It's just all about how you come out and execute in this game with everything on the line. Essentially, your back is against the wall. This is an elimination game, make no mistake. So yeah. I feel like they will be ready. The first 2 games, you just getting that playoff experience under you. Like you said, maybe the pressure just got to them, playing in front of that home fans, really wanting to deliver that win to the Pistons crowd. They weren't able to get it done. But I think in this game, and you look at some of the circumstances that the Knicks are going through, I mean, Jalen Brunson don't look 100%. I think you got to take advantage of that. You might be in Cat's head by now. He didn't have the best outing this last game. So
they're going to be thinking, and the pressure's going to be on, bro.
Yeah, you got to find ways to win, bro, like backs against the wall.
That's where you're at in a 7-game series. Everybody's exposed. We've seen everything that we need to see. Now it's just go out there and who's going to out-tough this thing, who's going to outlast the other. And we'll talk about the keys to victory in the second hour. Just a half an hour, just a little over a half an hour away from that right now. I see you, Dante, just hit us up on Twitter and said, oh, well, the Lakers, 1, 2, 3, Cancun on 3. So he supports us on social, supports us in the
Shout
chat.
out.
I see Stick Radio as well. Flannel took a vacation, almost like he knew LeBron would suck balls.
Yeah, well.
Bro, LeBron and Luka lost in the first round of the playoffs. That just sounds crazy to say out loud.
It sounds crazy for year 1, but I mean, I wouldn't worry about them going forward. And they talking about maybe adding Giannis to that mix. Jesus Christ,
Freddie,
like, come on.
I'm not thinking about that right now.
Yeah, like, come on, bro. But if it's anybody that can do it, it's Rob Pelinka, though. Rob Pelinka is that type of GM. He'll make some shit like that happen.
LeBron James and Clutch. They make mountains, man.
I'm just saying. Mountains. It's the Lakers, man. Watch
Freddie
out.
Felt 3-on-3, 199. Shout out to Go Blue legend, Rob Pelinka. I got to put some respect on his name.
Oh, yeah. Got to.
Hey, but Freddie Felt 3-on-3, 199 super chat. LeBron and Luka have already landed in Cancun. And yeah, shout out to those guys. You already. I'm trying to keep my
you happy as fuck.
I've been trying to say
my boy happy as hell, man, to see LeBron James fail. What is wrong with y'all people, man?
I feel so bad for Luka.
One man, Jesus Christ, all that hate for what, man? Look, just let him live, man. The man's 40, man, playing basketball still. Let him live.
He did it to himself.
Hey, but you know what? Look, you talked about the playoff pressure. We talked about the intensity and new experiences that the Detroit Pistons are going through right now. But when you talk about the Detroit Tigers, who have started off this season so tough, you got that article. We'll go to the Yahoo Sports article because they believe that the experience that they got going through the playoffs last year was bolstering their confidence in this hot start to the season that we see this year. And they don't think that it's going to go away, but they do believe that there's one thing that could potentially undermine just how far this Tigers team can go. Shout out to Russell Dorsey, national MLB insider for Yahoo Sports, and he does ask, are the Detroit Tigers the best team in the American League? After a Cinderella run in the 2024 playoffs, the Detroit Tigers are looking like, or in 2024, the Detroit Tigers are looking like one of MLB's strongest teams so far this season. And he does ponder that question and decides to make the case. And some of the things that he talks about in this article is effectively that two-headed monster at the top of your rotation in Casey Mize and Terry Skubal. He talks about how strong the bullpen is and whatnot, and we talked about it in the opener. And he talked about effectively what this Tigers team has been against some of the other good teams as well. This is no longer where people just go, oh, well, they beat up on the White Sox.
Right.
Or it's just, they just beat a couple teams they're familiar with in the Central. No, in this one he says that the Tigers have gotten off to a fast start this season. It's not due to the easy schedule. While some teams have had the good fortune of playing the Marlins or Rockies several times, Detroit has already faced the Dodgers, Mariners, Yankees, Royals, Padres, Orioles, and Astros this season. And the Tigers have gone 13-9, and we know they've won the majority, if not all of these series.
Yeah.
I'm looking. The Astros one is the only one they didn't win other than the Dodgers one.
Yep.
That's how good this Tigers team has been against squads that are going to be in playoff contention this season. But the one thing that they do believe can slow them down, he does believe that this Tigers batting lineup is decent, but he does believe that could be what basically or effectively trips them up. But ultimately, as one of the best teams in the AL Central and in the AL overall, I wanted to be able to ask you this question, KG, and open it up to our booth as well. Is this the new expectation for the Tigers? Is this it to lead pole to pole, to be the team that comes out of the AL Central with the division title, to be the team that is head and shoulders the class of the AL? This is what national writers and national media are now starting to pontificate about our Detroit Tigers. And it's because for all the things that were supposed to undo them to this point in the season, they've, for lack of a better phrase, shout out to Anson, they've risen above it all. Injuries, even bad defense sometimes. Skubal, they say, didn't have the best start to the season. You look at his numbers and you just kind of laugh like, no, this guy is on a torrid pace.
Come on.
A torrid pace. But I just want to get your perspective. Is it time for that to be placed on their shoulders now after knowing that they were just one game away last year from the ALCS?
$1 million question, bro. And it's crazy he wrote that because he's echoing my sentiments perfectly. We don't worry about this team from a pitching aspect. When you look at the teams that the Tigers are above right now, Seattle Mariners, the New York Yankees, and Cleveland Guardians, I think we can argue that the Tigers have a better pitching rotation than any of those teams, man. Where the separator is going to be is offensively, and that's where I've kind of been worried about this team. And to this point, you got to give them credit. They have silenced all the doubters. For all the injury talk that we had, for all of the, they were a struggling offense and you didn't really add anything in the offseason type arguments, they put all that shit to bed, at least for, the first couple months of the season. It's hard to, in May, just say that they'll continue this because I'd say that they won't. I mean, baseball is a very, very fickle sport. And day in and day out, it's a grind, man. And over the course of a whole year, do you expect some of your best hitters to maybe plateau a little bit?
Still got a few dogs.
Sure, but, I mean, when you look at the year that Torque is giving you, and I know he's been in a slump recently, but he's still over an 800 OPS, man. That's something that we would have dreamed of last year, man, with the type of play that he was giving us. You're getting stuff from Zach McKinstry, of all people. Like, Zach McKinstry's been arguably your best hitter on the team, and it's crazy to say that. Gleyber Torres has come in and given this team a spark. Riley Green starting to get back on that bandwagon. You saw him 4 hits yesterday. Really big game. Shout out Flannel, man. I know he was happy about that. But this Tigers offense is really going to be the make or break for this season. And if they can find a way to keep this up until you get some of your guys back, like your Matt Vierlings and your Parker Meadows of the world, I do feel like they'll be in a better position for that. But it's still a lot of ball left to be played, man. It's still a long way to go.
Before I go over to the booth and we talk about what Newsweek suggested the Detroit Tigers do to shore up their lineup, Where do you see them falling? Do you see them falling somewhere between with their floor effectively being the AL Central title and their ceiling being the best team in the AL, or do you believe that there's still going to be a struggle for the Central Division? Because I believe what we've seen this Tigers team already battle through has shown that they're going to be more than battle tested. And I don't even believe we've seen the best Tigers, like the best version of our Detroit Tigers this year yet.
No, we haven't. And my initial prediction was that they would be a wild card team because I just really didn't know how the injury situation was going to play out. And once again, because you didn't add that much in the offseason, you're relying on big years from a lot of the guys that you already had in the building. Now, we already know Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter. We expect a lot from them. We already know what they were going to bring, but you didn't know what Javi was going to give you. You didn't know what Torque was going to give you. Colt Keith so far has struggled this year, and we thought that he would be, somebody that would chip in as well. So I think the new floor for this team should be AL Central, just based on what they've given us so far. And my ceiling would be ALCS, but I don't want to come out and say that they're a World Series contending team just yet. To me, they have to get over that hump and kind of right the wrongs of last year. You can get out of the divisional round, and I definitely can see that for this team with the pitching that we have. But if you can get the type of offense that you have gotten this whole season to this point, they will make some noise in the playoffs, and they will definitely be in the ALCS.
I mean, Burn, you're speaking my language with the $5 super chat, though. There's some kind of magic here. Walk out of the clubhouse, they trip over a reliable pitcher. Harris kicks a trash can and finds a rotational guy.
Yeah.
And they still do have the trade deadline to be able to fix some things, some other players that we're hoping they can bring up as the season goes on. But Kavasi and Chase, I got to ask you too, man. They're leading the AL right now by a half game, and you look at the teams that are behind them and you realize when you saw the Tigers go head-to-head with these squads, they were just a better team than a lot of these teams. Do you believe that they got enough to hold on in this thing? And realistically, what's that floor and ceiling for you for the Tigers now?
Yeah, I mean, I think like KG's pretty right with the floor being the AL Central. I think this team is the best overall team in the division, like right now. But I think also when healthy, they're going to be even better. Parker Meadows, get Matt Vierling's back in the lineup and back at third base just to shore up some of our infield defense. But I think the ceiling is World Series because when you look around the rest of the American League, I think they're kind of like scrunching their eyebrow a little bit and kind of going like, them? Like that's who we're that's who we're supposed to be afraid of? Like, just because with this, when it comes to the playoffs, biggest thing is pitching. And it's not just our starting pitching, but what we added in the bullpen and what we already had in the bullpen. It's
looking vicious, man.
I mean, look, not just what we have on the lineup right now, but who we have down in the minors, who we could possibly bring back up, and who we could get rid of and, take off the roster come playoff time, i.e. Kenta Maeda. So, I mean, I think, when it comes to the playoffs, this team has not just the all of the ingredients and the recipes to win, the pennant in the American League, but they also have the right chef and AJ Hinch cooking it all up, too. So.
Big fact.
Hey, you preaching over there, man. JB Smooth, what up, though, man? That new floor and ceiling for the Tigers. And what I like right now is that everybody is – they just pulled it out and just laid it out on the desk and said the new floor is AL Central title. That's what they need to do. And hey, chat family, I need you guys to put your predictions, your new expectations for these Tigers in the chat. What's that new floor? What's that new ceiling? KG said that his new floor so far between KG and Kavasi, the new floor is AL Central. Your ceiling is you say ALCS and Kavasi said World Series. What about you, JB Smooth?
I got to lean with Chase on this one as well, too. And I agree with Burns. There's something special about this team. Obviously, I don't know if they can keep up this momentum throughout the whole entire season of baseball. As KG said, this sport is a very fickle bitch. Like right now, I'm telling you, you are going to have a slump at some point in time. But it's all about when you can get hot. And if you can get hot at the tail end of the season and move that on to the playoffs, there are great things that can happen. And I just love this team right now. So give me their ceiling is, World Series, floor, AL. And there's nothing much more you can say about that. As soon as they continue to get healthy, everything will be perfect.
Everything will be perfect. And that's my thing. I'm seeing some people in the chat they're talking about right now. Robert Yannick says World Series. Vincent E. Floor, ALCS, ceiling, World Series. Hoof Hearted, 92 wins is the new floor for the Tigers. I saw a couple others in the chat now who are saying 90 wins. I also want to know how dialed in are people to the Tigers?
Yeah.
Because it's interesting when they, they're winning now. Are we as Detroit sports fans all the way tapped in? Because it's cool to see the national media now have to say, wait, them, like Kavasi said, I know they couldn't see his face in the sound booth, so I'll show. He was like, huh? People squinching up their eyebrows like, that's the squad? Mm-hmm. And then when you start to peel back the layers, like they did in this Yahoo Sports article, you start to realize this team is formidable. And that's why I like the fact that he said, their lineup is good. It's not as bare as last year.
Yeah.
But let's get that Newsweek article before we get into a little TLB and then Pistons talk. If you got that Newsweek article, they do suggest a bat for the Lions that they also believe will solve another issue and bring Javi from out of the outfield and back into the infield. Ooh. So helps in the batting lineup, and it also will help on the defense. I call that a win-win, but I want to know what the chat family thinks about it as well. Nitty Gritty says 101 wins.
Shout out Nitty Gritty.
Shout out Nitty Gritty.
They were at Opening Day Fest. They're at Grand Slam Fest.
Yeah, shout out Nitty Gritty.
And before, as you get that article ready, that I think I sent it later in the Slack.
Yep.
Shout out to Broder in the chat. He says there's no ceiling with this pitching staff, and that's the Matt Broder, former pitcher at University of Michigan baseball, teammate of, I believe, Chris Fetter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys already know, always a part of the Woo crew. He says there's no ceiling with this pitching staff. Torque and Javi will regress. Green and Colt will get better. The question is how much both ways. Parker Meadows' return is what can put it over the top. Man.
Yeah,
but
he
got pressure, big dog.
He got to come back with a vengeance, though. Like the Parker Meadows that we knew from the end of last year, that's the Parker Meadows that we need because you playing with a nerve injury and the kind of mystery that's been around him, and is he throwing a baseball? Like, can he swing a bat? Like, what has been the real limitations behind him with this injury? He has to come back and be like classic Parker Meadows, like stealing bags, getting on base. Like, we need all the defense that we can get in center field, and Javi's been doing a great job, but Trey Sweeney has really been struggling at the shortstop position. So at this point in time, you really, really need Javier Baez to get back in the infield and go from there. But
Burns says, stop applying your past trauma to this team. I don't know who you're talking to in the chat, but it
right.
might be whoever are the detractors, because I do, man. I'm more like Broder. And I'm more like you as well. I do believe this is going to be a squad that has some individual players that regress, but ultimately you're going to see this team still do more than tread water, which is what we've seen them do. Mm-hmm. We've seen, it wasn't the best start to the season for Scoobs and Riley Green, but this squad is still sitting at the top of the AL right now by a half game over, I believe it might be those Mariners. I see Dante151. He sends in his new prediction for the Tigers record. 199 super chat. He says 110 and 52 and the 1 seed. Some people are getting fired up. I'm seeing people. You see in the chat, right?
Yeah.
But let's throw
it's a far cry from the offseason. The offseason was a whole bunch of, I remember Neil and them, 80 wins, 81 wins. Like,
it's different around here, man. Detroit sports is on the heater. And because of what the Detroit Pistons did to get to push us to a game 6, we get May in the D.
Yeah.
Because we got those Pistons tonight. We also got the Tigers tonight. And I know they're going to be back in the win column on the way to winning another series. But let's get that Newsweek article up. I want to be able to talk about this. It's from Andrew Wright, who's a contributing writer there. And he suggests a player who's been put on a trade block. His name is Cedric Mullins.
Okay,
outfielder
brother.
Cedric Mullins. Yeah,
okay.
Brother. And he talks about exactly what Mullins will be able to bring to the lineup. He says, moving Baez back into the infield, entering Mullins' .292 average into the lineup, and letting Mullins roam center field makes Detroit an even scarier team to match up against than they already are now. What do you think about this? And chat family, if you know anything about Cedric Mullins or if there's another fix out there, put it in the chat before we move on to TLB, because we got to talk Lions today as well, before we talk Pistons. But Cedric Mullins, is that the fix? Because he does mention 2 other teams, and one of those other teams is the Royals that may have some interest in Cedric Mullins. And when you're talking about what you want to do in this AL Central with your new floor, is this something that the Detroit Tigers should go after to bolster what you're saying? Because we know this. From one article to the next, everybody's saying it's going to be their lack of bats. When they look at the Tigers versus the other top teams, yes, they're one of the top teams that runs allowed, but as it relates to some of those power numbers that you want to see out of those top teams, we've seen our pitching in the past. I'm sorry, Byrne, for applying past trauma.
Right.
We've seen our elite pitching in the past thwarted by big power bats making a difference too. So Cedric Mullins, is that the pick or is there another one?
Well, I wouldn't be mad at this move right here because you need all the veteran experience that you can get. I think at this point you realize that your young guys, you have your core of who your young guys are going to be on this team, plus some of the other guys that will be coming up in years, going down the road. But with a guy like this, he's a consistent hitter. Last year he put up 278. Oh no, he put up 234 last year. So not the greatest year, but serviceable. 278 this year so far. He is a double-digit home run guy, not for his career, but he can give you some pop from that element. I wouldn't be mad at that. He's been a consistent fielder most of his career too, above a 700 OPS guy for a lot of his career. This is the perfect move for the Tigers because you got to do something in center field. Javi cannot, as good as he's played, he cannot stay out there for an extended period of time. The question is going to come when Parker Meadows comes back. Do you just he's going to be the everyday guy, let's make no mistake. So is Cedric Mullins, do you get a guy like this and just make him a depth piece? I think is the biggest question. I don't know what his contract situation looks like, but I would love this move for the Tigers. It makes a lot of sense.
Hey, I'm going to come to you in just a little bit, Kavasi Chase, but you're right, man. When you talk about the fact that they do have Parker Meadows, I wonder how much that comes up in our conversations when players like a Cedric Mullins does hit the trading block, which is the word on the streets that he's going to get traded or at least be available. I wonder if the Tigers saying, you know what, no, we can wait until our guys get healthy, or do they say, you know what, let's just bolster as much as we can right now because we saw how close we got last year. But Kavasi Chase, what do you think? Cedric Mullins, somebody else to get into this lineup. I like what they're offering up here. And just before you go, Broder in the chat, he gives his take too. He says you can't say no to athleticism in the outfield and a player that doesn't strike out too often.
Yeah.
And I agree with them on that. And Burn with the $5 super chat, he says Tigers are 5-4 against the top 5 teams in the AL, 11-11 against teams over 500. Our division is full of frauds, especially the Guardians. So I'm believing his new floor is that AL Central title. But Kavasi Chase talking about Cedric Mullins to the Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate the move. I think if we were going to make a trade for an outfielder, I think making a move for an everyday right fielder who could fill the position of center field defensively for the time being would probably be like the smarter long-term play, just because we do have not only Parker Meadows right now, but like a year or 2 years from now, we also have Max Clark, who's going to be filling in that void in center field too. So I think maybe if we're able to find somebody who can, fill that role in right field. Obviously, Zach McKinstry and Kerry Carpenter split time there, and both of them have been playing really well. But they sometimes are rolled out situationally. Kerry Carpenter usually doesn't, see the field too much with a left-handed pitcher. So if you're able to find somebody who can, maybe let Kerry and Zach split time at the DH role and get an everyday right fielder once Parker Meadows is back, and a defensive replacement in center field just to fill that void while Parker is hurt, I think that's the best case scenario instead of going for another center fielder to kind of clog up the middle of your outfield.
I actually like that perspective too, and I see Matthew Kruger in the chat, man. He's going, man.
Yeah, man.
He said that you kind of reminded him of last year, KG.
Not at all. Not at all, man. This year has been totally different, but the concerns are still there because, like I said, it's a lot of baseball left to be played.
We're pulling up what they're saying. It's not as if we're drumming up a narrative just to talk about it. This is what now a couple national writers have talked about.
Yeah.
They have identified the Tigers as, yes, we have to acknowledge this team as one of the best in the AL, and we're going to talk about, are they going to be a team that stays there? And when they peel back all the layers, they say there's so much like here, including their batting lineup, but they do wonder about that lack of power and that lack of, another consistent bat and being able to effectively rebalance their defense by bringing Javi back into the infield. They do wonder how these types of things can cost them, even though they haven't as much to this point.
And it's not just about consistency. It's also the injury bug. We know a lot of players on this team have been hit with the injury bug, and you got to find a way to stay healthy throughout this summer, man, because it's going to be huge. It's going to be crucial for this team. But if they continue to play the way that they've been playing, I have no doubts that they can hit everything that they want to hit. I'm not trying to be negative, but these are still some of the concerns that we have. And when these guys do come back from injury, you do have to see how they look.
Cruz not buying it.
Hey,
He said you a little face.
Hey, Cruz can kiss my ass, but it's all good, man. I already know his passion, though. I know he's really passionate about the Tigers, but
he is. He's one of those guys that is he's a staunch believer because in what they have right now.
Yeah.
And I know he's one of those guys that's more or less of let this thing blossom rather than, hey, maybe we can augment and have kind of the GMO fruit right now.
Right.
So I get it. But he said, Matthew Kruger says, we're kicking tail with the lineup we got right now. Why F with it? And I believe that kind of tends more to a lot of your thing. Like if you're going to make a move, you really just want something that fills in for right now because you do believe that we have what we need right now. But it's just going to be a little bit of time before players are healthy.
Well, I mean, I think you can combine the two. You can make a move that helps fix, fill a need right now, but also, like I said, have a player who can, secondarily play center field. And I think, have another option in right field or even another option to play in like any corner infield spot. Because who knows if Riley Green, ends up getting hurt at any point in this year. He could go down for even just like a 15 days or something like that. So yeah. I think, having some depth in the corner outfield positions and then obviously someone else who can, be that backup center fielder essentially would be great.
Yeah.
And I see Hoof in the chat. He says, just to remind us, the Guardians are 17-13. The Royals are 16-15. They have stayed just behind the Tigers so far.
Yeah.
And that is fair. And that's why I thought, you know what? With the Tigers going out there and effectively winning the majority of the series they're playing in, but the AL Central, it got some dogs in. That's why I told you guys, when you kind of look at the standings and you look at some of these metrics and stats, you see some of those AL Central teams that we know we're going to be competing with sitting right there in the mix too. And that's what made it very interesting about these people believing that the Tigers are really close to being that squad that you could punch in for AL Central title and being a player for the top team in the AL, but they got some concerns about what they need to do to show up that.
No, they do. They have holes on this roster still, which is why they should absolutely be buyers, especially if the Tigers continue to go out there and be the team that we've seen to this point. You gotta be buyers at the deadline.
Hey, I see you, brother. He said, don't we just wish we had Jesse Winker and Broder? He said, also, KG is spitting facts.
Hey, appreciate it. And I see you, Burn, backing me up, man. I predicted this team would be a winning team. Matt Kruger.
You did. Hey, what friends you want to say what up, though, too? I think we got to tell the people about some merch.
Yeah, we do got to tell them about some merch. I do want to give you guys a heads up. Cedric Burns, according to Spot Track, has him at a 1-year, $8.7 million contract. He's currently on with Baltimore right now. But if he is looking for a new deal, market value has him set at $14 million. So you're looking at a 4-year, $56 million deal.
And what is he on right now? Hold on.
A 1-year, $8 million deal. So he's not somebody that you're going to have on your roster long term. But for this year, as a rental piece, he'd be off the books next year. Why wouldn't you make a move like that? As long as it depends on what they would want to, get in return. But I'm sure it wouldn't be that much.
It can't be that much, especially given the fact that this is the last year of the deal, and you know what he's going to be asking for a little bit more next year.
Yeah.
If you get anything, anything back serviceable, you should be fine in that return. I can't wait to see what they're saying, especially as they get a little bit closer, because I didn't see exactly what they suggested as potential trades.
Yeah.
But I know as we get closer to that trade deadline to be there. Hey, JB, that was a good pull too, by the way, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would like to see a third baseman as well. So, maybe you make a move for outfielder and a third baseman.
Maybe.
Just saying.
Hey, and let's make sure we clean up any super chats if we have any before we get to this next segment. We are going to TLB just briefly, and then we got to talk Pistons.
Oh, yeah. Talk Pistons, bitch.
Hey, people start to get how you feeling about the Pistons Knicks tonight. How you feeling, man? Where's that confidence level at right now? Scale of 1 to 10. Are you on 10 right now? I'm fired up.
Detroit got to stand up, man. This is do or die, man. It's the last time this Pistons team is going to be here, at least for this round. Cough, cough. So let's come out and show the boys some love, man.
Let's show them some love because, you know what? I know that they love playing Boston.
Oh, yeah.
I do. But they got to handle business against New York first. Hey, just take out the whole East Coast. What up, though, JB?
I know, right? No super chats to clear up, but shout out to everyone for sending them in as well, too. I got to tell you about merch. Head over to woodwardsports.com. Click on that shop tab. We need to make some new Cade merch if they can squeak past the Knicks in the 7-game series that we got going on right now. But go out there and get yourself some Woodward Tigers gear. As you can see up on screen, we got t-shirts, we got hoodies, and you can't forget about the Red Wings as well too. LFG Red Wings t-shirts and hoodies still available for you right now. All you got to do is head over to woodwardsports.com and click on that shop tab.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo.
Ah.
You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Tibbs ain't got no hair, but shout out to the good people over at Mad Packs. Mad Packs is the hottest new
Bro, my hair
cannabis
look
brand.
better than his.
Yeah. No, it's crazy though. It's crazy. But Mad Packs is the new hottest cannabis brand, and they are partnering with us here at Woodward Sports. You know what that means. I'm gonna be feeling good all game 6 long because the Pistons are going to get it done tonight. But Mad Packs is gonna take your game to the next level. High Low is getting you high for the low, delivering top tier quality at unbeatable prices.
And then
Boom shakalaka.
There we go.
Boom shakalaka
Let's
is a
go.
live resin infused tarantula.
shakalaka,
This
boom
one's the
shakalaka,
bomb.
boom shakalaka,
Butzer
boom
packs
shakalaka, boom
THC
shakalaka,
Blue
boom
rocks
shakalaka,
that hit like a blizzard. Coming to retailers this month. Make sure you stay tuned to Woodward Sports for all the latest updates.
Hey, we are back in this Wake Up Woodward, man. The chat family has been epic this morning. I can feel the energy as it relates to this Pistons-Knicks game tonight, and I'm seeing people already saying they're not going to lose. They're not going to lose.
They can't lose.
Says, question for Kool-Aid Beef Stew going tonight. I heard he is questionable for tonight. The word on the street is still questionable. You know, and I wouldn't be surprised if he
GTD?
played, but I am. I'm putting out my feelers. I'm trying to figure out what it is.
GTD?
You know, not yet. Not yet. They still have him listed as questionable. And that is the official report. So
I think it's like when mom and dad say we'll see. It's like it means no, but
Right.
we're gonna tell you
Yeah.
no right now.
Yep.
But we'll see.
yeah. Yep. So, hey, you know what? We're going to clean up a couple of these super chats. And then, JB, we're going to get into the Detroit Lions top 5 trending topics. We got a couple we're going to break down potentially today. And then maybe one today. And then we have a couple more we're going to do today, tomorrow, including, you know, a lot of people are wondering what's the plan with Isaac Tesla. Is he going to be somebody that's competing for that wide receiver 3? Is he somebody that's going to be a big part of what this game plan is? But that's why I wanted to be able to talk about one of those other trends first today, because you got to know what your offense is first.
Right.
You know, we heard a lot of good things about KG, Calvin Shepard. You know, from
Why is that so
Cincinnati.
hard for you?
You know, the people from his time in with the Giants and such. But we never really took the time to break down Johnny Morton. We just went on his record, and we talked about the fact that he was previously with the Lions. But I like some of the comments that one Sean Payton had to say about him too. But let's flash that graphic real quick. You got the one with Dan Campbell on the front of it. And then we're going to go to the coordinators. Well, you know what? I'm going to let you pick KG, because we're going to talk about some of these subjects over the next couple of days. And you see the 5 there. The year 2 leap is one of the things. And can you read off the 5 for the people, JB?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little
we got
hard to
the
see.
year 2 leap. You got the guard situation. Help Hutch. That's in all caps.
Help
Wide receiver 3. and new coordinators.
Yep, and the reason why I bring this up, and I want people to see the graphic, go to the socials, go to Instagram, be a part of the conversation. This thing blew up.
Yeah.
Over 4,000 likes and just going hundreds of comments in this thing, and a lot of different people effectively giving their take on these trending topics. And we're going to continue to do this based on conversation from our chat and from our socials. And every week we're going to bring this as discussion to you guys. But where do you want to go? To year two lead? We're talking about TA and its Rakestraw.
Okay.
Or we're going to talk about those coordinators before we jump into Pistons talk.
Let's do coordinators.
Let's do the coordinators then. And we got the graphic with the coordinators on there as well. And I got to ask the people too, where's that confidence level with the Detroit Lions coordinators? Because I saw this question asked in a national media platform. And the question was, should Detroit Lions be a little bit more concerned about their coordinators? They're coming in with two brand new coordinators, effectively offensive and defensive, in Calvin Shepard and John Morton. And that these guys are not the same as their predecessors, in which there was a reason why they're saying that the prior two coaches were at the top of everyone's wish list for head coach, and why these coaches, in terms of the current for the Lions, are going to have to prove themselves this year.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to like about John Morton, and one thing that I've really appreciated about him is what he's going to do with this offense, and he wants to keep it explosive. But I want to ask you, before we get into a little bit of John Morton, it is these coordinators. Should there be more questions or concerns about or worries about the Detroit Lions going into next season? Or is this thing just as easy as push button, like we came into last season? You knew, there's not a thing to worry about. It's Ben Johnson and Taron Glenn.
No keys, push to start.
No keys, push to start. No
and
hesitation.
as Lions fans, I think we need to have confidence in these two guys, because one, they've been around the building already, and especially in the case of John Morton, he was here during a very pivotal time in the Lions transition. In 2021, going into 2022, he was here to help out the offense and help install some of the stuff that they ended up doing with Jared Goff in terms of the offense, in terms of what he liked to do and things of that nature. He was a very big part of that process, and he's even said as much, with his interviews with Dan Miller and things of that nature. So I think just based off his track record, based off the fact that he has experience not only at the NFL level, but at the college level as well. So he's coached for a very, very long time, multiple levels. He's been an offensive coordinator, and although that didn't go well, there are circumstances that point to why that didn't necessarily go well. The Giants organization just being a pack of dumb motherfuckers. I mean, I don't know what else to call it, but they didn't let him hire his own coaches when he came in, and the talent that he had is not the talent, that he's going to get with the Lions. You're getting a much better plate of talented guys on this side of the coin. So I'm not necessarily worried about a John Morton, especially because he's going to come in, he's going to do what Goff likes. He's not going to stray away from what works, and that's what we need to keep in mind with both of these coordinators. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's not a lot that you need to do. Yes, of course, you want to come in and add your own nuances. Yes, things will look different, but you got one of the best running attacks in the NFL, arguably the best. You have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and you have a quarterback that is probably the best play-action quarterback in the league. So why the hell would you stray away from that? Yeah. I know fans want to see, the Lions run the ball more, and maybe that is a possibility. Maybe y'all do get Jahmyr Gibbs as the lead back going forward, but I think that you will still see a lot of Monty in this offense, and I think that you will still see some trick plays. I don't think the trick plays are dead just because Ben Johnson is going. And that's one thing. That's one thing a lot of fans been wondering. But overall, offensively, not a care in the world. And I feel the same defensively too, but we'll just start with John Morton first.
Yeah. And just briefly, we'll just spend a few more minutes on it just to go over this, because I like John Morton, what he brings to the table, and should be music to everyone's ears, because we have the dogs to make this thing happen. When you're talking about Jahmyr Gibbs as Weapon X, Jameson Williams and the speed that he brings, and now you're bringing in a guy like Tesla, we understand the sure hands of Amon-Ra St. Brown. It makes me excited via Tim Twentyman to hear John Morton say he's eager. Not just, hey, I'm going to do this. Well, sure, we're going to take advantage of. No, I'm eager to maximize explosive plays with the Lions' offense. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He says, listen, his number one overall principle this season is going to be to make sure to limit turnovers. That should also be music to everyone's ears, especially considering how things ended in Washington. So when you talk about are they going to run more, he talked about the fact that he can't wait, and he has been, and he's going to get even more into laying out the offensive plan for 2025 with one run game coordinator and offensive line coach, Hank Fraley.
Yep.
And so that to me tells me that this is going to be a team that is probably built very, very stout in the run game. And why not when you got a weapon like a Jahmyr Gibbs?
Exactly.
But the second principle, though, is explosive plays, in which Tim Twentyman said that Morton eagerly talked about this thing just last week. And he says this is via Morton. I think you have to have explosive plays. You have to be able to do that. I think there's a certain amount of explosive plays you need in a game. And explosive, I always think 7 or 8 plays explosively per game is really, really good. And he said he usually views a pass play of 16 to 17 yards or more and a run play of 10 to 12 yards or more as an explosive play, just so you understand. So there's a lot to like here about what Morton is going to bring to this Detroit Lions offense. And it was largely in addition to comments of Sean Payton and Dan Campbell, just to add to it. Sean Payton says this about the new leader of the Detroit Lions offense. He's super passionate. He works his tail off. He was a pass game coordinator with the Broncos last season, and he's great with film study and ideas. He's one of those guys that will bring you red zone, third down, and a lot of information.
Ooh, I like that. And shout out to Braylon Edwards. He is somebody that also knows of John Morton. He shared time with him, I believe he said, either with the Seahawks or when he was with the Jets. But he also spoke to the fact that John Morton is very hands-on. When he first, met John Morton, he was kind of like, what is this guy? What is he going to tell me at this point in my career? But the more he spent time around him, the more he realized, like, oh, okay, this guy, he knows this shit. And not only that, he's very hands-on. He's very involved. He's very vocal. And that's something that, while we know Ben Johnson was a very smart guy, you don't exactly know how vocal or how well he explained the information to some of the guys on this Lions offense. And that's where John Morton, somebody with a lot more experience, I feel like he'll flourish in that role. And once again, you don't have to fix a lot with this offense. It's already ready to go. We're used to explosive plays. That's what this offense is predicated on. You have two of the fastest players, if not the two fastest players in the NFL, in Jahmyr Gibbs and Jamison Williams, man. And you have a top 5 quarterback. Yes, I say a top 5. Sue me. A top 5 quarterback in this league in Jared Goff. This offense has this offense has unlimited possibilities, man. And I don't think John Morton is going to come in and try to drastically change that. I think he realizes what he has.
And you know why he wouldn't, though? It's because when you heard people, there were national people who were first to the podium to say, hey, Detroit fans, chill out. Yes, you're losing a good mind in the Wizard, one offensive Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
But he said you got to understand, this is Dan Campbell's offense. And furthermore, what does Dan Campbell say? What are the Lions saying? That John Morton had a lot to do with instilling this original offense at its foundation. That's why I don't think that a lot is going to change. And that fact that I saw someone in the chat say, let these coordinators be and form their own identity. Well, with one John Morton, I actually think that this is his identity. Tim Tonyman says Campbell this is via Dan Campbell, said that Morton actually was the one instrumental in putting the original version of the offense together in Detroit in 2022.
Yeah.
When he was on staff as a senior offensive assistant, and they did explosive plays then, and they did not have necessarily the weapons that they got today.
No, absolutely not. And like I said, he came in at a very pivotal moment when they were installing this thing. So he knows off the rip what Jared Goff likes, what he doesn't like, how he can succeed, and how he will have trouble. So for him to have that intimate knowledge already coming in, I think it only bodes well, because you need that offensive coordinator-quarterback relationship to be A1. And I feel like Jared Goff has a lot of trust in somebody like a John Morton who, like I said, with Ben Johnson came in and helped establish the offense to what he likes to do.
And I see Damian McClin, and I'm wondering, who are you a fan of? Because I don't believe that he's a Lions fan with the way this is worded. He says, y'all don't have a top 5 quarterback. If you think that quarterback y'all got going to get y'all to the Super Bowl, it's nuts to me. And it's interesting because the very next quote I was going to read was, what Dan Campbell said John Morton is going to be able to rely on. He says he was one of the pivotal pieces of helping us put this together, this offensive version for Goff with Goff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that John Morton was the one who sat down and literally kind of paced this thing through, worked this thing out, And that would also entail some of the terminology with a Jared Goff and getting him comfortable with this. He said, so that was so big. But then also there were so many other things that during the game plan, weeks of game plan, the ideas that he had in the past game, going into weeks, getting ready for opponents was big for us. A lot of things that we used. And it's interesting they left us in there too. Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Shout out Dan Campbell, man. Him and Holly looked like they were having some fun last night. But it's interesting to see how he's putting this together. And I just saw it. I lost the comment, but they stated the one thing we do know about Dan Campbell, even if it's his friend, is that if there's a change that needs to happen, he's not going to necessarily wait too long to make that.
Yeah, no, we seen it with Anthony Lynn, man, and to a degree, Aubrey Pleasant as well, man.
I'm confident in both of these coordinators, man.
I mean, it's hard to fuck this up. I ain't gonna hold you. It's hard to fuck this up. Like, you got to literally try to mess this up. Like, this Lions offense is set, ready to go. It's already top of the league in terms of points scored. So, yeah, I'm not worried at all. John Morton to be fine.
Yeah, and I do believe that Goff, I don't believe we're going to see any type of regression with him. There's some people who believe we see a regression with, Ben Johnson going to the Chicago Bears. I don't think we see that. I believe that Jared Goff has proven that he's a tough quarterback who bounces back from his downs. It's just a matter of now John Morton and that first principle he stated, how can he continue to keep this team in a position or put them even in a better position, especially in the playoffs, to minimize those turnovers.
Yeah, and
I'm so glad that's principle number one for him.
I'm not worried about Goff. All you got to do is keep him upright, and I think we all know that. And with the dogs that we've gotten, you saw how the Lions drafted. They put a big emphasis on the trenches, and it is for that reason. You have to keep a strength, and as long as Jared Goff is upright, he's going to be able to make plays with these receivers that we have. So
Jared Goff's going to have the cleanest jersey this year, I'm telling you. So clean.
You think so, man? Talk to me about
fresh
it.
and so clean.
We're talking about this offense just before we get into some Pistons talk. JB Smooth, what's the reason in these coordinators? I saw a lot of people are definitely confident. They believe that this thing's gonna go off with a hitch. I'm glad we got to talk about it and really show the fact that John Morton is really, one of the fathers of this Detroit Lions offense. And I do agree with you, KG. My confidence is at 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That this thing continues on, and if not, that it actually gets better in some regard. I do.
Could.
What up, though, JB?
No, I just wanted to add that I'm with you guys 100%. I have a strong confidence in both of these coordinators. Obviously, KG's been there before, this past season as well, too. So just putting him in this role now just helps set out a lot more. But it all starts with the foundation, and this house has a very strong foundation, and it goes along with the players and the coaches. If the players believe in this organization and the coaches, they're going to play at the best of their abilities. And that also goes with the coaches as well, too. They see the talent that all these players have, and they are extremely excited to even get there to start the season. Hell, I feel like they're ready to start camp right now as it is, too. And not only with Morton, but David Shaw as well, too, being added to this team. Like, they've had
big shout out.
Fired up more then. Get me fired up more then, JB.
They've had a huge amount of success, not only at the professional level, but at the collegiate level as well, too, in college. Like, They've had many wins. Like, this should be an easy transition for them to just go on and have as much success as you can with this upcoming season. I feel like they really want the season to start tomorrow if they could.
Yeah.
Especially when you lose in the playoffs the way you did. We know that that's the part of their identity. Remember after San Francisco, Dan Campbell was just like, yes, we wish we go out there and play again.
Yeah.
All of them were like that. Amon-Ra was like that. And that's what you want, this team that's going to go out there and honestly fight for all that's supposed to be theirs. But Nick Hedigan is the one who said earlier with the John Morton conversation, if you don't work out, we have seen MCDC make quick adjustments, take control to shore it up. So if he's not working, I'm not worried. But I do believe it's going to be a situation that works out.
Shout out Nick Hedigan.
And even if it starts off slow, I mean, he's not going to get fired. Like, he's going to have a full runway. They already said he's going to have autonomy over calling the plays offensively. So they have full trust in John Morton to go out there and execute the job. And he's experienced. So I'm really not worried. I mean, Ben Johnson, for as great as he was a first-time coordinator. And that's what we got to remember. John Morton is coming in with hella experience.
I see Hoof in the chat, too. He says, Hoof-hearted. He says, anyone that doesn't think Goff is good enough to win rings just doesn't understand football and should keep their mouths shut to prevent themselves from looking like idiots in public.
Who said that?
Oh, boy.
Hoof. Hey, shout out Hoof.
One of my favorite chat names.
Yeah, man. Hoof-hearted.
He really loves, like, horse hoofs.
He also, I believe it was him that said he kind of doesn't have faith in Kelvin Shepard, and that's something that we gonna have to talk about, man.
How you ain't got faith in KG?
We're gonna get
Right,
more
y'all
into it tomorrow.
fuck with me, dog. Come on, man.
We're going to get into it more tomorrow. And I saw somebody else talk about the fact that the offense that's being run right now, it is effectively from that Sean Payton tree that John Morton had a lot to do with, and Dan Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
So I am very confident what this coordinator is going to do at keeping this team, not just like I'm not one of those who believe, oh, yeah, they're just going to make sure that we don't lose ground. I do believe that we're going to see this Lions offense actually improve in some respects over last season.
And how can they improve? They're already the best offense in the fucking league. How you going to improve from that? That is crazy.
Hey,
but
we love you too, Hoof. I see you in the
yep.
chat, man.
Shout out, man.
I see you. Let's we got a what is it? TPB.
Talk Pistons, biatch.
It's time, man.
You
I've been
fucking
trying to,
right.
Keep the composure. I see the Lady James girls walking in. Sorry.
They'll be all right.
If I startle you.
They'll be all right.
But it's time to get into the strategy of this all. Let's get that like poll going, that like button going as well. We're going to satisfy it on the other end of the break. But let me tell you guys about Lady James. Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff, like gimmies on the golf course.
Yes.
We like uncomplicated, like Lady James haircuts for men. I like believing in, hey, Kay Cunningham. Look at everything we've done this year. Yeah. Hey, it's simple. Scott Harris and AJ Hinch and Detroit Tigers. Hey,
all right.
Wow. Dan Campbell, John Morton.
Yeah.
These things are uncomplicated and simple. Just like Lady James haircuts for men. Just walk in, sign in, and before you know it, you are handsome and clean. Lady James, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Oh, that's what these. Okay.
Yeah. Age one is like.
Trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in the clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy, every Thursday during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. You got to trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. Ooh. Ooh. Let me get the back them fired. Up, man.
Detroit basketball.
Detroit
basketball.
I see Grim in the chat getting it started as well. Let me see some flames in the chats, man. Come on, people, man. Show me that you guys are fired up. Get us pumped up for this next segment.
How can you not be fired up? This
game
six
for a chance.
At home.
At home for a chance to push this thing back to Madison Square. Cade. I can't wait.
Messi.
Well, we got to do something first to just set the mood a little bit more appropriately.
Oh, word.
We're going to have to satisfy that like button.
Should I light some candles?
You know what? Anything to set the mood and keep the mojo right.
Hey. Y'all know it's been raining outside, man. It's kind of gloomy today. It's a perfect day to just cuddle up with that like button, man. JB, go ahead and hit me, man. Hit me with those smooth tunes and just go ahead and take that smooth finger of yours. You know, maybe wet it up a little bit and just smack that like button a couple times. Maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times. Make sure you drink your Gatorade. You're going to be tired.
Lubricate that finger.
Hey, you know what? Let's run it up, run it up.
Hey, shout out my boy Grim, man.
Hey,
my boy
Grim,
always fired up.
I see in Yay or Yaya 9328 in the chat. Put all of those flames. Mark Royal as well. And you know we got to talk about the Detroit Pistons, New York Knicks Game 6 at LCA. This is starting to really become storybook for these Detroit Pistons who have continued to bounce back from adversity all year.
Yeah.
They're one of, I think, 3 teams to have made the playoffs after starting 0-4 in like some time. You know, so we already know that this squad who decided we don't really care about the play-in. We only care about making the playoffs and going in and beating a team that we think we can beat. No matter what our seeding is, no matter what the record is, they believe that they had this thing shored up from a physicality and a toughness standpoint, where the New York Knicks believe that they had the advantage from a talent standpoint. And we've largely seen these teams play each other to a draw.
Yeah.
The Pistons get a chance to even the series tonight at 3-3, so it will actually be a 1-game series after that, but they're going to have to take care of business on the home floor, which they haven't been able to do in the playoffs in well over a decade and a half. This is going to be obviously their best shot at that. The previous 2 times, you knew that they were sacrificial lands, but Cade Cunningham, J.B. Bickerstaff and his team has no plans at laying down for anybody, KG.
And they shouldn't, because if you want to argue it, they've been the better team in this series, man. And I point to Game 1 and Game 4, them just making costly mistakes that they probably should have came out with those 2 games. But you're here now, Game 6 at home. You have an opportunity to right the wrongs of the first 2 games that you had at home. And it's a must win. And of course, figuratively speaking, because it's an elimination game. But I think that this Pistons team is ready. I think they've adjusted on the fly very, very well. They seem to not make the same mistake twice, and you love to see that. Cade Cunningham is taking it upon himself to be the leader of this playoff team. Everything that you wanted to see from him in the first playoff series, Cade has went out there and giving you, almost averaging a triple-double, not really seeing, not really looking overmatched. And that's something that could easily happen to even the best young talent in the NBA. But he's also getting help, starting to get help from his supporting cast as well. Tobias Harris has been arguably the second best player in this whole series for the Pistons. Dennis Schroeder being everything that you wanted him to be from that trade deadline move to where we are now. He's provided so much of a spark, not just defensively and playmaking, but offensively as well. And you just need some guys to, kind of chip in. We would like to see Malik Beasley get back on track. He started to get back on track in this last game and kind of tailed off a little bit. Tim Hardaway Jr., while he's played good in spots, he is also somebody that can go out there and maybe shoot the ball a little bit better. And Jalen Duren, man. Jalen Duren is somebody that, I dubbed as the number 2 on this team as of right now. And, it hasn't really worked out that well in the playoffs, although he has been a monster on the boards. But you need him to be better defensively as well. So I think this Pistons team has done a great job at just, going blow for blow with this Knicks team, counterpunch after counterpunch. And we all know that's what the NBA playoffs are. It's chess moves, man. And will the Pistons be able to make another big chess move in this game tonight, in a game where it seems like Jalen Brunson may be compromised?
Yeah, and you know what? I want to be able to start there. The defense of the Detroit Pistons versus the offense of the New York Knicks, because they have 2 stars, 2 bona fide stars, and we've already seen in the series that any one of their role players at any given time can pop off against the Detroit Pistons and go on a little bit of run. Their energy, their athleticism, it's what has spurred and propelled the New York Knicks to the 3 seed, and just a little bit better than the Pistons were this year as they were trying to catch their rhythm. And the Pistons didn't have Schroeder for the entire season, as well as going through
Imagine if they did.
They didn't. Imagine if they did.
Shit.
I know, but that's where you want to see the squad cash in more so than what they have currently, because I saw earlier in the chat, and I forget who stated it, I think it might have been Hoof, who said that this series has realistically come down to like the last 30 seconds of the game. And I know that could be a little bit of high, a little bit of hyperbole, but when you kind of peel back the layers, you get what he means. The clutch moments. You know, the last 9 minutes of each one of these games is where this series has been decided.
Yeah.
Literally every single one of them. You see how there's a shift, and the Detroit Pistons are leading, and then the New York Knicks make a run, and then the Detroit Pistons in games 2 and in games 5 had just enough to stave it off. And in that pivotal game 4, which imagine if they would have won that, we'd be sitting here talking about the Detroit Pistons going on to round 2.
Yeah, they should have won that.
They should have won that game. But now we're sitting here in a position, or the Pistons a game away, I'm sorry, from going to round 2. We'd be talking about them if they win tonight going to round 2. But if you're looking at the Pistons going into this game tonight against the New York Knicks, that's where I'm going to start. The defense that Asar Thompson played against Jalen Brunson, they found a way to keep him on Jalen Brunson and keep him out of foul trouble. And I do believe when you're talking about defensively, your number one key of the night has to be the job that Asar Thompson does at staying out of foul trouble. I'm not even going to say the job that he's going to do against Jalen Brunson defensively because we already know what he's going to do.
Absolutely.
The stats have proven it. He continues to be one of your best point of attack defenders. And I know, shout out to B-Ball Reference. They use a particular stat and a couple others, and what they call it the D LeBron stat. And he's consistently in the second half of the season ranked in your top 5. And that's why I do believe when you're going into this tonight, it's not every time we've seen him play, he's strapped up. He's done what he's had to do, and he's made sure to make it a little bit more difficult on Jalen Brunson, being able to do whatever he needs. And why is that important? Because Jalen Brunson can get to the rack a lot at will. And where is our number one shot protector? Probably out again in Isaiah Stewart. That's what makes Asar Thompson's defense so pivotal and so important, because it keeps the most clutch player, because he did win 2025 Clutch Player of the Year, Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, he did.
It keeps the most clutch player out of the lane. It keeps the guy who likes to drive to the rack and can get to the rack often. We've seen him win games with him doing this down the stretch with Asar Thompson on the bench. This is where I do believe the number one thing defensively is what Asar Thompson is going to do against Jalen Brunson. What effectively staying out of foul trouble, being smart, no silly fouls, no silly reaches, no silly swipe downs.
Yeah.
Keep your defensive principles stout like he did in the previous game.
No, absolutely. That's probably one of, if not the most important key to tonight, because once again, Jalen Brunson is compromised. He is not healthy. Is he going to go out there and still give his all? Absolutely. But when you have an advantage like that, knowing that he's not 100%, you have to be aggressive. And Asar Thompson is going to have to be able to toe the line without going over the line. And I like what the Pistons did, picking him up at full court in this last game, pressuring him for a good amount of the ball game. And he's going to have to do the same thing again. And like you said, he's just got to be smart in terms of how he uses his hands, how he bodies up Jalen Brunson in the half court. Don't do too much, because these refs have been calling this series very, very tight. A lot of ticky-tack calls have been going against the Pistons in that regard. So the defense that Asar played on Jalen Brunson in that last game was perfect, and he was able to stay in the game for a majority of the game and get his buckets within the flow of the offense. And that's more of what I want to see tonight, because offensively he's going to have driving lanes available, and he needs to be able to cash in on those opportunities. So if he can do that and just provide classic Asar defense and just help out in spots, get some rebounds, get some steals, I think this Pistons team will be in a very, very good position to win tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing. Him staying out of foul trouble makes him the Swiss Army knife on offense that we need him to be.
Yeah.
Just be and fill the spaces effectively. And then on defense, we know it's just go and defend Jalen Brunson. And that's where, we know that he has to be that primary defender on Jalen Brunson, especially in the fourth quarters where it matters most. And that's where I do wonder, I did wonder, and I did call for this to see him be more or less roaming Asar.
Yeah.
But J.B. Bickerstaff stuck to his guns, kept Jalen Brunson. He didn't flinch. Kept Asar Thompson on Jalen Brunson effectively. There were a couple plays where he allowed him to roam, but largely it was about what he was doing to do against Jalen Brunson. And shout out to J.B. Bickerstaff. Sticking to your guns. Like you said the phrase earlier, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I thought it was broken. But what if your coach can actually tweak some things and help you get better in a fly?
Yeah.
Because this team is going to lack an experience in some regard. They are. We know that these guys haven't been here. There's 4 players that have playoff experience on this team, but a lot of the players that we know are keys to them winning the series, they don't have any. And one of the things I loved about J.B. Bickerstaff making a difference, especially for his young players like Ashar Thompson, was about 5.7 seconds left to go. And remember, the Knicks had done what prior to that? We thought that this was a coast to the finish line win for the Pistons, and then you saw a couple threes. One by the second one by OG Anunoby, the first one by who hit that first three?
I can't remember.
I forget exactly who hit the first three, but it was a couple back-to-back threes that made this game a little bit more close down the stretch.
Yeah.
And you see
Oh, it
J.B.
was
Bickerstaff.
OG probably.
OG hit the second one, but I forget who hit the first. But you see J.B. Bickerstaff on the sideline talking to Ashar Thompson, telling him, hey, I need you to go and foul. Well, effectively, we're not even letting them get that attempt anymore at that 3-point zone. Go and foul, especially considering the fact that what you had just kind of experienced or saw with the Bucks and the Pacers game.
Yeah.
And so he's on the sideline coaching up his young players, and I saw people saying, well, why did you have to tell them that? Of course you want to do this, da-da-da-da. And there was one comment in there that it really spoke volumes to the role of a coach and why we didn't see Monty Williams be able to stop any of the spiraling last year. And it's because sometimes you just get smacked in your face, you get disoriented, and you don't quite know which way is up, especially in the heat of the moment. We've seen this team make mistakes in clutch time moments, whether it be missing free throws, whether it be calling timeouts when they don't have any. We've seen certain situations out of this group over the years that leads me to believe in the playoffs, the one thing you want your coach to do is settle the moment, give them the direction, and make sure they are clear and concise, especially when you know the other team is going to have players ripping and running all over the place, trying to make sure they screen and pick and this and that. And the Pistons executed, and they won. And it wasn't just in that play. It shows you this, because there was another thing that popped up that leads me to believe, in addition to Ashar Thompson being your number one focus on defense, or your number one key to victory on defense, J.B. Bickerstaff overall. Think about this. Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart, they had to go out for injury checks because Brunson tweaked his ankle. Them boys waited on the sideline, bro, waiting to check in for about a minute and a half plus. And it's because the Pistons, as long as the Pistons don't foul, and as long as the Pistons don't have a turnover, then guess what? The only way the Knicks can get their guys in is if they either burn their last time out in a very pivotal game, or if they foul and put the Pistons on the free throw line, because it would have been the second foul within the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So it got to a point where they thought, well, we can just breeze it. They got
right.
a foul.
They'll
and
get a foul.
We can't anymore. And it was crazy that this team tightened up the handles to a degree I don't think we've really seen in a long time, and it led to them, and it contributed to them being able to get that dub. And it just shows J.B. Bickerstaff is helping his team grow up a lot in the areas where they lack their experience. He's helping them grow up on the fly in this playoff series.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was coaching malpractice by Tom Thibodeau. I'm sorry. I understand it was your last time out, but you can't let that amount of time go by and not get your guys back into the game. But that's kind of leads to the reason why I feel like J.B. Bickerstaff has been the better coach in this series. And yes, Tom Thibodeau has gotten the better of him at some points, but you point to the adjustments that J.B. Bickerstaff has made game to game, and ultimately a lot of them have worked. We talked about the half-court sets yesterday. More of a sense of urgency in the half-court. Not a lot of one-on-one basketball. More assertiveness. More of having a plan and knowing what you want to execute and going out there and executing that. And you got to give J.B. Bickerstaff credit. And the defense has been immaculate. Like, all of these games defensively have been immaculate for this Pistons team. It's all about what are you going to do offensively, especially in times where Cade has to sit down, or when Cade, has a set where he needs to do a majority of the scoring because not a lot of his teammates are helping him out either. So that's really
what you got to be prepared for.
No, absolutely. And that's going to happen. But that kind of leads me into my other point with this Pistons game. The veterans, man. The veterans have done such a great job in just being a stabilizing force, because J.B. Bickerstaff, he can do all the coaching he wants, from the sidelines, trying to tell these guys on the fly how to adjust, but it's all about the players on the court being able to execute. And I just love how the veterans have went out there, especially Dennis Schroeder and Tobias Harris, have gone out there and not just done it by vocal. They haven't just done it vocally. They've done it with their play as well.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said that, because you need vets that can play. This was one of the things that we discussed with Rod Beard when we were talking about over the last couple of years, the Detroit Pistons' attempts at trying to build properly around Cade Cunningham and the young talent that was brought in, and they just couldn't get it because those guys' availability was null and void. And then as they started to get a little bit more healthy, then you started to realize They're just not what they were.
Yeah.
Bojan Bogdanovic, the first year he was here, he could hit some shots. As he, lingered around, it wasn't looking the same way. And now you got some vets who, it's not just that they can play and kind of run, but they got that fire. Beasley has that fire. He doesn't care who you are. Even if he'll lose, he'll stand toe-to-toe.
Yep.
Imagine what that does for these players in practice as well as when you're out there on the court. Tim Hardaway, he got that fire.
Yeah.
The guys that they brought in, what have we seen? Shout out to Black Eye Tobias Harris.
Big Unk.
The legend of Black Eye Tobias Harris. I'm so serious, man. Like,
6 points after getting poked in the eye. Like, crazy, bro.
It was absolutely crazy. But what have we seen throughout this playoffs even before that? The energy, the just fired upness. There's been several screenshots that have gone viral of him just going, and I'm just like,
right.
I love this Tobias Harris.
I've never seen this Tobias.
Walking
ever.
away, and then you just kind of see like whatever's on his left shoulder just tipped him, and he was just like, yeah, I want to kind of go this way at Cat.
Yep.
I just want to bump into Cat and just talk
Been
to him
chirping
and
at him
bark
too.
at him. And at the time, people were like, oh, this is not smart. Well, look how the game ended, man.
Yeah.
Look how the game ended. I didn't even reckon where was Cat where it mattered most.
Yeah. Tobias has done an excellent job defensively, and we know he got his work cut out. We know he ain't gonna always make the play, but overall, over a totality of a whole series, he's done an excellent job on Karl Anthony Towns, man.
Yes, he's making them work, and that's what you have to do with these elite players, especially offensively, like Karl Anthony Towns is, and like Jalen Brunson are. What you have to do is make them work for everything. So if they're going to go out there, if Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns are going to go off, you have to make sure that it is taking every aspect of their stamina to do that. And that's what Tobias Harris has done on the defensive side. Some people said, I saw a couple plays where, Karl Anthony Towns was going to work. And people, look at Tobias Harris, man. He ain't. I'm like, yes, he is doing his job.
Right.
He is. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? Dead legs, Cat.
Yep.
And we have seen this several times. Usually it's Isaiah Stewart who has that recipe. But this Pistons team, at least on the defensive side of things, they have found a way to take it up a level, another notch in these playoffs, taking advantage of the fact that they're going to allow some physicality to take place. And they've gone on and basically embodied everything that they said they wanted to. From a physicality standpoint, and I'm not pausing it, they said they want to touch people. People need to feel them.
These
are their quotes. I'm the reporter. I'm just reporting.
people.
They said that people need to feel them. That people need to feel very uncomfortable when they play the Pistons, and they need to be able to knock people off their rhythm.
Yeah.
And we've seen them be able to do this because a lot of the X factors for the New York Knicks really haven't been X factors consistently throughout this series. And
Yeah.
I do believe it's because each and every one of these players are trying to do what we see Tobias Harris do, and that's I'm going to play defense man-to-man and get up in your jersey. There was a stretch in the game where the Pistons had to make sure that they did not allow the Knicks to do like they did in that one game where they rattled off 21-something straight points.
Yeah.
In 4 minutes, 21 points, I think it was in 4 minutes. They went to a aggressive man-to-man defense. And knowing in this NBA where even their current mans are generally just zone principal mans, no, bro, they were following their players even if they were going all the way out near half court without the ball. I was like, oh, old school, for the love of old school basketball.
No.
And I love that about their defense right now.
No, JB loves man-to-man defense, and at times I've wondered, okay, would you do better maybe blitzing somebody like a Jalen Brunson and living and dying, with OG Anunoby going out there and shooting the basketball? But they've done a great job. Like I said, defensively in this series, the Pistons have been immaculate. Holding teams to under 100 points in a playoff situation, that's huge, man. That is huge. It's just been the mental mistakes on offense that have really cost this Pistons team at times.
We're gonna get to the offense. So
big facts. But I have no worries that defensively they are going to come out and they're going to have the right game plan in terms of Jalen Brunson, and it's just about how can you guard Cat, especially in the second halves of games. I have said it timeless amounts of times. In the first half, he gonna get his shit off. Don't worry about it. It's all about that second half and that fourth quarter. What does he look like? And we know he don't like being physical. Oh my God, you're touching me. He don't like that shit, bro. And it's showed up in his play in these fourth quarters. He has not been good. He's not.
KG's over there preaching. We've been.
Preaching, bro.
Why are you touching me?
Come on, where's the man at? We've been seeing the boy lately, especially late in the games. I honestly I know obviously hit that 30-foot shot in Game 4, but if he hits that, like, fuck yeah, I'm cool with Cat beating this from 30 feet. All
Right.
day because,
Like,
he's
what can
7
you do
feet.
about
What the
that?
hell are you doing that far away from the basket?
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean, if he hits it, he hits it. But I like the way that the Pistons have been bringing the aggressiveness. And, obviously, like I said, the hustle out of Tobias Harris, I've been loving. I think when people put the onus on him to be what, like a star in quotations, obviously you guys can't see me, but like I don't think he is that. I think he is a hustler, he is a tempo setter, and he's a leader, but not like, he's not wearing the C on his chest. He is like lead by example.
Right,
showing
right.
you this is how you need to do
Veteran
it type
leader,
deal.
yep.
So again,
Like an
go out
OG.
there. Yeah, hustle in the first
Big
half.
Unk.
It's gonna come like
I'm
hustle
trying
in
to
the first
learn
half.
from him, bro.
Yeah, man.
It comes to him in the second if he hustles in the first. So that's what I want to see. I know no high expectations. The standard's still the standard. But yeah, come on, just keep giving it to Cat.
I feel you, man.
He's in there preaching, dog. He is absolutely in there preaching. And you know what, JB Smooth, before we move on to our offense, I just want to hear from you as well about the defense, the game plan, Detroit Pistons defense, because let's be real, the New York Knicks, they got a couple top 12 maybe MVP candidates over there in Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, number 3 seed in the East. And they do hold the lead right now 3-2, largely because of the work that those two have done. But the Pistons, in a couple games they've won, and probably a couple others they should have, they've had the recipe. They just got to keep those guys on the court.
Yeah, that's fair. You got to keep in mind that this isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. If Tobias can go out there and just harass Cat as much as he can, I will be happy with that. Like, my man doesn't have to do a whole lot. If you can just get out there and just harass Cat as much to where, as KG, you said, oh, my God, you're touching me. Stop touching me. Like, I'm trying to get in the paint. Stop touching me. That's all you have to do. That's pretty much it. As far as Beef Stew, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be playing tonight, so I think you can kind of count that out as well, too.
I gave people that little hint.
But still, at the same aspect, the mission is still the same. Survive until Game 7. That's it.
Survive in advance, baby.
Survive in advance, and let's talk about what that game plan is. About to see the chat. Frank DJ One Cat. OMG.
Oh my God, stop touching me.
Is that a good enough answer for you?
Some people too in the chat who are hoping that they just let them play. Just let them play. Gromit says, I hope the Stripes swallow the whistles tonight. Let's see some old school ball. I'm hoping that for the rest of this series, it's legitimately almost like rec league ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just let these guys go out there and play. And the fouls you call are the ones where, you know what? Don't call fouls. I will give you the foul. And you know it. We can trust it. Because you see some players with Tobias be like, yeah, I got him. Yep. There was one play, bro, I don't know what it was, but somebody came through the lane. It didn't look like a foul, but I think it was either Toby or Jalen Durham who turned around and the camera caught him. He's like, oh, no, I got him.
Yeah.
I got him.
I let him know.
He's like, I got that one. It wasn't no incidental contact. And I like that. They want to make sure they know. That was me that you felt, bro. Well, let's talk about the offense, too. We'll say what up, though, to some friends. We'll get back, talk about the offense. Hey, tell me, guys, what you're feeling about the strategy. What is the key tonight for the offense? The defense, they've been largely solid. You can see the game plan. The offense has been one in which we've seen the vets lead. We've seen Cade lead. We've also seen a balance.
Yeah.
What wins tonight? We're going to talk about it, but I think we got to hear from who? Jars?
Yeah, Jars.
Hey, Jars Cannabis. Shout out to the good people over at Jars, man. Absolutely love the products that they have. And listen, Jars Cannabis is bringing you some of the best deals in the city right now, man. So make sure you get to a Jars Cannabis today. Sign up online. They got a whole bunch of great deals and discounts ready for all my potheads out there, man. Let's get right, man. Jars Cannabis. Deli Day coming up. You don't want to miss it. Free half ounces going all over the place. You get a half ounce. You get a half ounce. And you get a half ounce. It's Jars Cannabis.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
Begin Injuries? Big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won.
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Les Stanford Chevrolet Buick and GMC has great offers for everyone right now. Get to a store today. Get a 2025 Envision Preferred A all-wheel drive for only $259 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Double Cab Elevation for only $169 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV, one of my personal favorites, for only $700 per month. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory. Les Stanford Buick and GMC, LesStanford.com.
And Mark White.
And when you get that new car, why not get a new house too? Let's double up, man. Mark White and Associates here to put you in your dream home today. And if that is your plan, Kool-Aid, they willing to pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs, bro. That ain't no small penny. Yeah, I need $5,000. I mean, yeah, you want to help a brother out, but call the people at Mark White today, 248-290-8242, or visit markwhitesales.com. Again, shout out Flannel Sam, 248-290-8242, or visit markwhitesales.com.
Think you got any houses?
And dreams come true.
Think you got any houses for $5,000?
We are back. One of those people.
We back.
The rent is almost approaching $5,000.
Right?
Jeez.
We can get you a closet for $5,000.
A closet in New York. It's wake up, Woodward.
Speaking of closets, Carl Anthony Towns.
Chat family, welcome back. Hey, listen, man, it's playoffs. It's real right now. And it was a couple things in the chat that I love. Chat family, if you can, if you haven't already, go on ahead and smash that like button. And if you have, go ahead and share the stream. Send it to a friend.
Do that.
Somebody that's a New York Knicks fan. Somebody that's a Pistons fan.
Do that.
Let's have some fun as we continue to break this thing down. Creative World Films in the chat.
That's Big Willie.
That is Big Willie.
Big Willie style.
That is Mr. Chop Cheese himself. He is in the chat. And guys, I just got the basketball here. It's not on the desk. I'm just getting ready for tonight. Just in case they need me, B-ball Paul, you got 6 fouls. If you get fouled out,
right,
I can come in and get 6 fouls on Cat. Hey, it can be a group effort. All of Detroit is here, man, for these Pistons.
Kool-Aid out there with his Bengay.
But creative,
right?
Yo,
that's gonna be sore.
I've been proactively thinking, like, I wonder if I should just wear a knee brace too.
Man,
I mean,
right?
Bro, and then
One
Dame
series,
Lillard the other day. I'm sitting like, dang.
One series up and down the floor, your ass gonna be cooked, bro. Your ass gonna be cooked.
Never seen nobody with 2 knee braces on.
Hey, he says what I think we're all thinking. Feeling. He says Game 6 is going to be war.
Oh, yeah.
And I definitely believe that.
This whole series has been war.
It's
a heavyweight fight, bro.
And Gromit, you're definitely telling the truth as well. The energy will be through the roof tonight at LCA. Can't wait to get down there. We're going to definitely get some fan content and interaction. I believe Platty will be in the building.
Shout out.
I believe Nick Koloff is going to get down and do some content.
Yep.
Shout out my boy
the,
Nick.
Chevrolet Plaza.
Tailgate always wins.
Yeah, Platty will be down there a little bit early, too. So I know he's going to leave from Heavies a little early, get down there. And your boy will be in the building, too.
Are they still doing heavies today?
I don't even know if they're doing Heavies.
They probably shouldn't.
Are they just kind of doing the watch party?
It's probably a glorified
I say Easy
watch
told
party.
me that they weren't.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No,
Yeah.
It's probably
Game
a
at
preview
7:30
show.
is no point.
Probably the preview show there. Tap in tonight still. We're going to have the playoff watch party. You guys know we're going to start a little early, start breaking down the game a little bit, and then flow right into it. I'm going to go down and get some content court level so you guys can see them warming up. Give you guys that pregame report. Maybe check in even with some of the other media that's there. And give you guys as much fun pregame content as we can, as well as the concourse interview. So
Yeah, got to.
But as we're on the offensive for you guys, covering the game and trying to make sure that you all benefit in whatever way we can. There'll be giveaways, there'll be content, there'll be merch, and they'll be featuring you all on the platform. I'm obviously what matters most is the Detroit Pistons, because if they win this game tonight, obviously they give themselves a chance at a Game 7 in Madison Square, and possibly if they win that one, then you get more home games here in Detroit.
Yes.
But first things first, the offense. We've seen this team win largely because Cade Cunningham has come through down the stretch, as well as the balance that the vets have provided. They had a good chance in Game 1, but they obviously went through that infamous stretch of 21 straight points. They couldn't stop anything in New York, and they couldn't score. Tonight with this offense in a game that I do believe points have been at a premium, It's been awesome to see what Asar Thompson's effect can be, but what's your key tonight offensively? Obviously, we know we need Cade Cunningham to be the guy, and I'm going to say, again, self-inflicted wounds. You look at how many turnovers the Detroit Pistons have in this series. They're leading by a wide margin, and the points off turnovers, it's almost enough for a full game throughout this series.
Yeah.
And so I do want to see this team take care of the ball by playing with a sense of urgency, by honestly understanding how precious each one of these possessions are, because they are playing with minimal possessions over the regular season. And now we're seeing that one or two mistakes will cost you a game, whether it's your own or whether it's the refs.
Yeah.
And the only way to take it out of the refs' hands, because this is the piggyback to my first key with the offense, is to go out there and play your game. Play your brand of basketball, play through the referees, play through the contact, play through the physicality, because the one thing we know is they're going to let you play.
Yeah.
The one thing we know both teams said that they're going to do is they're going to play to that. So if you go out there and your focus is on complaining, there was earlier in the series where they were complaining about a play, I think it was Beasley, and you let somebody run back down the court and get an attempt at a fast break layup. I need this team, as I know they're going to need to be locked in every single play, and that type of focus on effectively making each and every single possession and moment that much more precious and valuable is what I do believe will spur them to taking better care of that basketball.
Well, that goes without saying. That's almost like an unwritten rule at this point. They have to take care of the basketball, because turnovers have really hurt this team throughout this series. When you look at Game 1, I think there were over 20 turnovers. You look at this past game, they were in the 19 range. That's not good, bro. Too many turnovers, and you're giving up points on the other end as well. And that's been a big killer, a big backbreaker. Them getting second chance points off of an offensive rebound and being able to either get another 2 or 3 off of it. So I think that goes without saying. They have to take care of the basketball, and I think they'll do a better job of that tonight. But I got a couple things I want to see offensively.
Hey, talk to me, man.
I need an efficient night from three-point range. That's something that has been lacking from the Pistons this playoff series, the whole series. And some of your best shooters, Malik Beasley, I believe he's averaging 30% from three-point range in this series. And even Tim Hardaway.
It's not enough.
And even Tim Hardaway, who has shown up in a lot of spots, he's only averaging 32% from three-point range. Those are 2 of your best shooters on the team, and those are 2 people that you absolutely need. I believe Cade is going to create so much gravity in terms of, they have to pay attention to him. They are going to have to blitz him. That's the only way to really stop Cade in this Pistons offense. So when they do that and you get your opportunities from 3, you have to capitalize. Tobias has been good in that regard. Dennis has been good in that regard. But can you imagine if we got a 4 to 5 3-point night from a Malik Beasley?
If we got that from them combined, if you're getting about six or seven of them combined between Tim Hardaway and Malik Beasley, this is a good night for the Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
You need a couple of those threes, per quarter. I was about to say per inning.
Yeah.
But per quarter. Why? Because that helps to loosen up and break up a little bit of that blitzing defense, or the Knicks will overcommit to it, and they will live and die by what you do from behind the arc.
And you got to make them pay.
And whether they've decided to live and die or not, we know this. They have not really made them pay in this series, and it does contribute to why the Pistons are down. People want to say, well, we want to see gritty, we want to see get into the paint and blah, blah, blah. When we talk about the recipe of how the Pistons have won this year, one of those keys, and we were talking about it, remember what it looked like before we had reliable outside shooting.
Yeah.
It was terrible, and it was horrible, even more so for Cade. We've seen Cade step into a different space this year, literally because these outside shooters have created a lot of space for him. And now we see Cade get the star ascension. In the playoffs, people have questioned the efficiency, and it's largely because of the traffic that now he has to play through and play around and pass around and such, and it's largely because they're daring our three-point shooters to beat them.
And when you've seen the outcome of these games being decided by 1 or 2 possessions, can you imagine if 1 more or 2 more threes had been made in that game? You are probably looking at a better outcome for the Pistons in this series. So
think about how pivotal 1-3 was for the New York Knicks in Game 4 at LCA.
There you go.
1-3 with 30 seconds left. That was the last bucket.
Yeah.
And we know that throughout this series, there's been a couple times where we could have hit that shot. And if we know we would have done it, it really would have bolstered things down the stretch, because what winds up happening, then you have to play the possessions game. So even if you still wind up winning by 1 point, then it just comes down to, can you make your free throws while they continue to foul you? And this Pistons team, they play smart. They showed me a brand of basketball, and this second win, that leads me to believe if this thing gets down and dirty into the mud again, that this squad does have the recipe, and they've seen enough to be able to win it. But you would love to be able to have that support from your three-point shooters, because during the regular season, that's what's bolstered them. When we talk about who they've been in transition, one of your best teams. When we talk about who they've been in the pick and roll, one of the best teams. When we talk about who they've been with the lob connections and dunks, one of the best teams. The one thing we can't forget and leave out is the fact that they've also been a really good three-point shooting team.
Yeah.
They've been a team good at being able to create that extra space for Cade Cunningham to work. The Knicks, they should be feeling something about the fact that Cade Cunningham is getting blitzed as much as he is.
Yeah.
And them as realistically your top two of your top vets. Think about it. Tim Hardaway was brought in, and he's starting. Malik Beasley was brought in with starter potential, and he's coming off the bench, and you see how he's lighting it up. There's going to be a lot that they're going to depend on from these two vets in particular, in addition to what Schroeder and Tobias is bringing to the table. And, shout out to Malik Beasley on Snapchat. He did say this. He says, me and Tim, and that's Tim Hardaway Jr., not even hitting our shots like that. We about to catch fire. I promise.
We need it. We need it. They are well overdue. And if you can get a good shooting night from even one of those guys, let alone both, if you get both, I have no qualms that the Pistons will win. But if you get a better shooting night from a Malik Beasley in particular, who has yet to have his moment in this playoff series, I think that bodes well for the Pistons, bro.
Yep, and then obviously the straw that stirs the drink is going to be 1K Cunningham.
Oh, you know that.
The action as well, that players like Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson, they thrive off of the playmaking and off of the action and off of the gravity that in space created off of the play of Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
And that's where you want to see Cade Cunningham be aggressive. And not necessarily one that is just trying to score, but aggressively attacking space, aggressively attacking your pick and rolls, aggressively attacking your ISOs, aggressively seeking for opportunities where you believe I have a mismatch. Let me get that real quick.
Yep.
That's the Cade Cunningham that I do want to see tonight. We've known that the recipe for the Pistons to win during the regular season was 30 to 35 points a game. In the playoffs, that's going to come down a little bit. And they've needed about 25 points from Cade in each one of these games to have an opportunity. But this is where I want to see his aggressiveness early, like in Game 2, be a shining factor in why the Pistons get off to a quick start in this game, which should give his teammates even more open opportunities to be able to knock down those threes.
And I think fans will be happy tonight. Everybody wants a more aggressive Cade Cunningham. Then what better game than to do it than in Game 6, the last game at home for this series? I think we do see an aggressive Cade Cunningham, a Cade Cunningham that's going to be out there hunting for his shot. But At the same time, Cade still needs to be Cade. He can't just go out there and just dismiss playmaking because his playmaking is so huge for this team. He gets the ball, to countless people on this team. And one thing that I wanted to see more, and I don't know if you agree with this, whenever Cat is on Jalen Duren, I want to see that Cade to Duren pick and roll in full effect. Go after Karl Anthony Towns because the sooner you get him in foul trouble, the better it will be. And that's something that we have not seen from this Pistons team enough. When people are in foul trouble, be aggressive, go after them. What do you think about that, man? I want to see that Cade Duren pick and roll. That was so good the whole year.
A couple times this series, they could have sent Karl Anthony Towns to the bench with 5 fouls in the third quarter.
Yeah.
He got his 4th foul early in a game, and they never attacked him. They never went to Duren. They never said, you know what, Duren, let's just see what you got.
Right.
And I want to see them. If someone's in foul trouble, attack them. Be aggressive with them and force the issue because they're going to be thinking now. Basketball is a mental sport. As baseball is a fickle sport, basketball is so much mental than people give it credit for.
Yeah.
When you're in foul trouble, and we've all been there, even if you play in rec league, you do play different style of defense. You do. And that's where you want this team to be able to understand that, and that's where JB Bickerstaff, who's been savvy, and there's a lot of young players to help grow up in this series. So I'm hoping now we see another growth, another step from Jalen Duren, like we just saw from Asar Thompson in the last game. And JB Bickerstaff, this is one of my keys because I know we're getting to the end. This is another key when you're talking about JB Bickerstaff, right?
Yeah.
Hack a Mitch. Is somebody gonna have to hack a Mitch?
Yes.
JB Bickerstaff went to it. Because Mitchell Robinson was having success, being just kind of this Tasmanian devil just all over the floor on both ends of the court for the New York Knicks. And they went to a strategy to put him at the free throw line a couple times, and it actually worked out in their favor.
Does Brandon Dent have to hack a Mitch?
we know JB Bickerstaff will.
Yeah, no, you absolutely do. He has been abysmal from the free throw line, and we all knew that. That's his strong suit. He's not a good shooter. He is just an under-the-basket, old-school, traditional big. But he has been very, very key defensively for the Knicks. So if you can start sending him to the line and limit his effectiveness in that way, absolutely, you have to do it. And it's a strategy that proved to work. At the end of that third quarter, he started getting the fouls against him. He started going to the line, and he was missing. He was missing a majority of those looks, man. So I think that absolutely has to be a strategy in play, especially later in the game.
Yeah, and you know what? Let's hurry up and get those quick predictions in. Your MVP, your X Factor, and that final score prediction. Chat family, get it in the chat. Shout out to Feldman Chevrolet of Novi as well. You want to tell the people about Feldman Chevrolet of Novi?
Absolutely.
Why they get this into the chat? We're going to read some of these, and we're also going to go around the cast and the crew. So our booth, our elite booth, definitely get ready with your MVP, your X Factor, and that final score prediction.
And the Pistons can take a page from Feldman, man. They the 6-time dealer of the year,
elite
bro.
transition.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm learning, man. I'm knocking the rust off a little bit. But Feldman Chevrolet of Novi, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer, is here to put y'all in some very, very nice vehicles, as you see on the screen right there. You get a 2025 Chevy Silverado Crew for just $199 a month. You can also get a 2025 Chevy Equinox for $250 a month. Those are very, very cheap. Come see George Halls and his team at Feldman Chevrolet of Novi today.
Man, I'm fired up. I already see Tony D in the chat. Pistons 110-106. And let me know who's the MVP for you and what's that X Factor. But KG, kick us off, and then we're going to go to the voice of reason, Cavassier Chase. What up, though, brother?
MVP is fucking Parker Cunningham. We already know what the fuck
I think that's unanimous.
Yeah, come on. Yeah. K needs to be the best player on the floor tonight for the Pistons to be successful, and I have no doubts in my mind that he will. Contrary to popular belief by some people at this network, K Cunningham has had a great first playoff series. He's doing everything that you can ask him to do, and I do understand fans want him to be more aggressive, and at times I want him to be more aggressive, but he cannot shy away from what got him to the dance in the first place. Keep being Cade Cunningham. The offense will come. I have no qualms about that. He will be the MVP. But my X Factor, I think we get a back-to-back Asar defensive masterclass, bro. Asar Thompson is going to be huge. His defense on Jalen Brunson might make or break this game, man. And once again, Jalen Brunson not being 100%, you have to keep constant pressure on him all night long. I want to see him pick him up full court, or literally from the end of the first quarter throughout the whole game. Like that, this needs to be a strategy, man. Let's go, man.
I like that, man.
Let's
KG
go.
over here spitting facts, man. I wish, I know Flannel Sam, he's trying to enjoy that vacation, but I know that basketball and these Detroit Pistons are on his mind. That was one of our pastimes, man, here when we were both kind of just people in the back offices and such here.
Yeah.
It was Pistons that really was the bulk of our conversation, and who Cade Cunningham would be as a player. So I know he's out there enjoying the vacation, but probably like us, got that good nervous energy about what our squad will do tonight.
I hope you can get those streams out there in Ireland or wherever you at, because you ain't going to miss this one.
It's a different time zone
He's actually
over there.
6 hours ahead right now. And actually, did they already play the game, or are they already tipping off right now?
All right. They might have.
We'll have to ask him who won.
It's over there on you, Kavasi and Chase. Let me know, man, the MVP, the X Factor, and final score prediction.
Yeah, I mean, final score. I don't. The Pistons are going to win. I don't have a final score exactly, but I mean, this is going back to the Garden for 7. The most valuable Pistons definitely going to be Cade Cunningham, and I think he's going to show a lot of the doubters where they can stick those type 2 opinions, Kool-Aid, about him. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Joke.
So yeah, a little bit of an inside joke if you know, but yeah, I think Cade's going to show out tonight. So.
Hey, man, I love that, dog. Spicy Cavassier.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
That's that warm Cavassier. Ain't been chilled yet. A hot shot.
Shout out to one JB Smooth, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth. What up, though, man? Same questions to you before I get to mine and the chat.
I mean, I think it's unanimous. MVP tonight is Cade Cunningham. Let's be real.
He has to be.
Do what you have to do to get your team involved, but other than that, you need to be that dominant star out there tonight. I'm taking the Pistons to win this one 110 to 102, pushing it to Game 7. And my X factor for tonight, because you guys have already said a lot of great players and things, people who need to step up, but the number one overall, embrace the crowd tonight. I'm telling you that right now. I know the players are going to be hyped up and getting fired up in that tunnel, but as soon as they hit the floor, take a moment to look at everyone in attendance, from the floor to the box seats to everyone up there at the top of the rafters.
Slap hands with a lot of people you don't know.
Everyone is in that building tonight to see you guys and to see successful playoff basketball in the city of Detroit. It has been too long that we have gone in this drought, and now it is finally time that we get over that hump and succeed. And everyone right now is in witness to that tonight.
Preach, JB.
I'm fired. Wait. I'm fired up.
You damn
I'm
right.
Fired up, man. Let's go. Pistons. I got the Pistons tonight. 107-98 victory for the Detroit Pistons.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm looking.
You
for
keep
that.
looking for this double-digit
victory. They were on the way until
and keeping them under 100.
Bridges and OG Anunoby want to go and just throw up some BS threes,
Man.
but it is what it is. I do believe that they're going to get that dub at some point in time, and I believe that the win last time, seeing them win, seeing Asar Thompson be like, oh, I can play in this series.
Right.
I believe that this confidence is going to have them much better than just maybe starting off the game a little bit tight. And the MVP for me, obviously, is going to be Cade Cunningham, and the X Factor. It's a combination of Jalen Duren, honestly, Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson. I'm going to expect the vets to be the vets. But these young guys who they don't have the experience of being in this stuff, I'm hopeful that the ignorance is bliss for them and that they just instead play to who they know to be. I want the Jalen Brunson that decided, you know what, I know the camera's on me, so I'm going to walk over this little Jalen Brunson who's writhing on the floor right now after he flopped, and I'm going to let him know. Jalen Brunson, this is a quote, so I'm just reporting it. Jalen Brunson, you flopping mother effer. Maybe you can say the full
You
quote.
flopping motherfucker. Get your ass up. Get your motherfucking ass up. Hey. Real quick, for all my bettors out there, I feel like Malik Beasley gonna give us something, dog. 4+ threes on Caesar Sportsbook +1.
That's a dub, man.
+155. If Malik Beasley goes for 4 threes, we're absolutely winning this game.
I feel like
But
the mark is 5, but if you give him 4 tonight,
Malik Beasley +4 3-pointers made +155 on Caesar Sportsbook right now. Just saying, man. Y'all cash that shit in, man.
All right, well, look, man, before we wind up, here's a chat. Greg, 2025, he thinks the Pistons are going to win by 7. Stephen David, 109-102 Pistons. I'm fired up. Hey, shout out to Stephen David. I see you putting it in the chat. Patrick Ofiar, Beasley 4 threes plus 176. So polarizing.
Oh, 176. Where you get that at?
Jordan from MI. He thinks Pistons 110, Knicks 104, and he believes that Paul Reed will be the X factor, man.
The legacy B-ball Paul legacy.
B-ball
game.
Paul.
Paul Reed.
Maybe he'll hit a 3 tonight.
No, he stepped up and played some really good minutes, man. Has he been perfect? No, but he's played big minutes in the spot that he's put in. No, shout out to B-ball Paul.
Hey, Frank BJ1, he gives his final score prediction, his MVP, and I believe the X factor for a victory. Not necessarily a person, but a strategy. Pistons win 113-104. K triple-double and MVP. Woo. And he says that the Knicks are tired and banged-up team. We need to run the ball every chance we get. No lies detected.
I like that.
I like that.
Get out and run in transition, man. It's been your bread and butter all year.
Yeah, hey. Dante151, and shout out again to Feldman Chevrolet of Novi for our fan interaction, our chat family interaction here. Dante151, his MVP, Asar Thompson.
Hey.
Pistons 110. Knicks 103, man. And there's so many. There's a lot more. I'm seeing everybody in there. Stick Radio, shout out to Stick Godfather Woodward Sports. He does believe Beasley will score 26 tonight.
Yeah, if he scored 26, it's raps, bro.
It's
raps.
Oh, I cannot wait. Bro, this energy I haven't felt in a very freaking long time.
I can't even believe we here, bro. First round, everybody said Knicks in 5. Yeah, suck on it. Pistons
Suck our Knicks.
We got one.
Fucking Knickerbockers.
I guess they call him
that
I guess
Knickerbockers.
they call him a Detroit sports fan dog. Skydog722 says 107-103 New York Knicks.
Who said that?
Skydog.
Come on, Sky.
Come on,
Have
Sky
you not
Dog.
learned anything, Sky?
Vacation, man.
Yeah,
all the way across the
Boo,
other
Sky
side of
Dog,
the world.
boo.
God damn, Sky Dog.
Boo.
We still rock with you, Sky
Boo,
Dog.
Sky Dog,
You
boo.
been on that BS,
Boo,
man.
Sky Dog.
Let's go. 6 hits the law of averages, though, for one Mr. Malik Beasley. But let's get this thing broken down. I
Yes,
know
sir.
there's a long day. I'm going to try and zip out of here right away and try and make the shoot around. They started at 10, so.
Oh, yeah. Let's get
It's
you up
gonna
out
be
of here,
tough.
man.
Yeah.
Wrap it up, B.
Hey, shout out to our brother Flannel Sam Reynolds. We love you. We miss you, man. And enjoy, if you can, partake in the game in any way. Enjoy that. But better yet, enjoy the vacation. Enjoy, time away with the wife as well, man. We miss you. Just want to make sure we stated that. Shout out to our brothers Matthew Broder. That dude, Justin. He's been doing some credential work following along some of these prospects for the Detroit Red Wings. And I know he's going to have a lot on socials as well as Woodward Wings. So stay tapped in with him and Sam, Flannel Sam, with that content. But thank you, chat family, man. This has been an epic show, as all of them are, largely because of what you all do to support us. So go ahead and smash that like button if you have not. But shout out to this elite booth. We're going to start over here with Spicy Cavassier Chase today.
Warm Cavassier.
What up, though, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hope you all are having a good one. Stay tapped in throughout the rest of the day. We get the pregame, the watch party for the Pistons. So if you can't watch the game yourself, stay tapped in. Follow along with Woodward as they feed you all the information, give you all the live reaction to what's instantly happening in the game. And then come back tomorrow. Let's enjoy. Let's send off into the weekend with a nice Victory Friday show. Let's head back to, let's celebrate and let's get ready to head back to New York and come back to Detroit, ready to head to the Garden again, but this time the TD Garden, just like the old TD booth over there.
Right.
JB.
The T-Toss.
Hey, you see A Diz's last comment?
No,
My man is so energetic right now.
Shout out A Diz.
He's not even typing right, and I feel him. Read that comment for me, JB. Or JB or KG.
This win damn game. Shout out A Diz.
Just win the damn game.
No, A Diz my guy, man. Shout out to him, bro.
A Diz,
Big
dog.
mad love for A Diz.
Hey, Woodward Sports MVP in the TD booth, JB Smooth.
Jay Bizzle.
Yo, just win the damn game. Win the damn game, everybody.
Damn win game.
Yo, stay tapped into Woodward Sport. Thank you guys for tapping into the morning Woodward show. I went far back as well. It's the energy tonight. I'm losing it over here, but I'm telling you right now, tonight is going to be epic. Stay tapped into us. We got the watch party as well too. Episode of Fast and Loose is out right now. Myself, and Chase, and we got Woodward ringside. Me and KJ are recording tonight or in a minute, and it should be out tomorrow for you guys as well too. Tigers play tonight. They got a late one against the Angels, so hopefully you'll be able to catch that as well too with the Pistons game. But just stay tapped in to Woodward Sports. We got everything you need.
Stay tapped in. As soon as we hear word about Isaiah Stewart, I promise you, we're definitely gonna make sure that we say something, man. I see A Diz is trying to speak it into existence in the chat too. But you know what? KG up here on the desk filling in for our brother Flannel Sam.
My dog.
Shout out to you, man, doing a phenomenal job. And I know that you have a few more days of this as well. But that's Detroit's #1 draft pick. Rookie of the year here at Woodward Sports, man, and got one of those MVP trophies up there. What up?
Thank you, man. Just want to entertain the people, man. But shout out to y'all allowing me to come up here and do this, man. Absolutely love my team, man. I get to do this every day with. Shout out to everybody that tapped in with us. 500 strong today. Absolutely love and appreciate y'all. Even all the hater comments, we love y'all too, man. Keep on coming back. Come on back to Woodward Sports, man.
I see Pistons Drew in the chat. He says, "Wear the shirts." We're supposed to have a white out tonight. You know, the Pistons all white. And last time the fans didn't put on their shirts. The Pistons gave, even media got shirts and thunder sticks.
And so nobody put on the shirts?
A few people did, man. My kids were, man.
Come on, get it together, Pistons
drenched in them, man. But, you know, shout out to the Detroit Pistons and everything they're doing to make this a fun experience for the fans. You guys, smash that like button for us. If you're down there at LCA tonight, tag me. If you see me, stop me. Let's get the content. I want to feature you all. It's been fun doing this at the last 2 home games.
Yeah.
It's your boy Brandon, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. It's been Wake Up Woodward. This energy, man. Stay tapped into Woodward Sports all day. Big the energy, Ermanni and Edwards, and the heavies. Well, watch party actually tonight. Stay tapped in. We got you guys covered, man.
Chest pass in.
Hey.
Ooh. Oh, this bitch got air in it.
got
Man,
air.
I love that.
We got
that.
over the air. That's like, oh, that's rock, man. I'm telling you, I got the little.
Oh.
Come on, y'all.
Sore. He's sore already. He about to be sore as hell at practice. He got the cream in the bag. That's how you know. That's how you know you got 4 of them, man. Hey, we out.
It's been Wake Up Woodward. We'll see.